They can't hear us. They can hear me now. I could hold this over you, Bob. They can't hear you, so.
I don't care.
All right. I think they can hear you now.
Like they
Now they can hear you. Hola, chicas.
I'm always silenced.
All right, we are good to go. We don't know what we're talking about in the second half of the show, like normal. This is means we're in a normal place, but yeah, that's just keeping you guys up to date with what's happening. Just because it's a Wednesday doesn't mean something different's gonna happen. It's the same Coaster Talk podcast. We were gonna have a guest on, and that would have been cool, but he had to postpone. So, rain check. What's the over under 12 minutes? I think we're good. I think we have a good shot of finishing before then. And to be honest, tonight it doesn't matter because I have no school tomorrow, so we have a holiday. So,
how small of a boat do you need to go up a creek?
It depends on the creek.
Paddle.
There's some pretty wide creeks.
Cattaraugus Creek. I don't know. I still haven't figured out where it goes yet.
Why are you like? You're weird.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea why I'm.
The Great Lakes watershed does not lead that far south, so. Let's see. It's probably common. Let's see. What is the furthest south you can access the Great Lakes?
Wait, I don't know where I'm at. Oh, somehow I ended up in Ohio?
You were in Toledo, I thought.
No, I left Buffalo. Wait, no, I don't know where I'm at, actually.
I'm in Tanzania. Just to let you know, the position you're sitting in is like right in front of the logo, so yeah, that's good. Back it up. No, that's not how it works.
Oh.
It's like I guess you could like high five it or something. Wait. Wait, I'm doing it wrong now.
Oh. No. Ow!
Wait. Oh, I can't. There we go. All right.
Oh my god. This night's gonna be a disaster. That's all.
Cam said over.
Timmy said over too.
You guys know us too well. I'm thinking, hey, and I'm totally. I thought about this while I was contemplating what we could talk about in the second half, and it's something that we couldn't do tonight because it would just take too much work to try to do it tonight, and we would definitely be over the midnight prediction there. But I think eventually we should do something like we have the live stream audience, and we have like scenarios. Like if I was at a Six Flags park and this happened, I would do this, and then they would like try to respond to like make like it could be funny, it could be relatable, whatever. But they could like respond to certain scenarios of like what would happen, like kind of like a what would you do thing.
Like, what would you do if police stopped you because your shorts were too short?
Exactly. I was thinking about that a little bit, but that's not where it stemmed from. But once I thought about that, I'm like, oh yeah, it's kind of like, what would you do if some crazy woman was at Six Flags and because of that security or whatever?
We're gonna get Cam a bulletproof vest, apparently. Would you like a Cedar Point one, or?
Nah, Six Flags would definitely be the one.
Six
Six Flags Magic Mountain. Six Flags Magic Mexico. where the submachine gun attack happened.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. That to me, see, like I just think, and I think there could be so much like funny responses.
That could also end badly, though.
But that would be part of the fun. See where people take it. It's like improv. Like, hey, what happens now? Like, make up something, say something. What would you do? I don't know. I think that would be fun.
It would be fun.
What do you guys think in the audience? Is that an okay idea? Like, you guys would be the ones, and obviously we'd hopefully get more people if we we'd tell people, hey, if you want to really be a part of the show this week, you can join the live stream and do that. I'm just thinking of stuff that we could do, because half the time we don't know what we're doing the second half. More than half, actually. 99.9% of the time we don't know what we're doing.
Timmy, finish that sentence. On paper. That's what you meant to add to the end, right?
No. He meant it's a good idea.
Hey, wait. Allegheny.
Exactly, Mike. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
What?
Like,
Wait, no, I can't say that. See, this is the problem, because what I want to say would get me canceled.
Canceled, oh.
Not really.
Bob! Oh.
I need to just get in a boat and just start driving and see where I end up. Guarantee you I end up, like, landlocked or something.
Alright, so what do we do in the second half then? Right now, for now. We could just...
During the second half, we could discuss what we're going to do for the second half.
It's exactly... I imagine when you said that, Mike, I don't know if you've seen... what's it called? It's the Will Ferrell movie. I think it's Old School. And he's... he's like a 40-year-old dad in this movie, but like he like goes to like a high school reunion, or I think it's high school or college, and they have like they throw a party, and he gets like wasted and starts streaking, and he thinks that all these people, all the kids from this college party are following him, so he's just running down the road, and he's like, woo, and he's like completely nude, and his wife drives up behind him and is like, honey, and he's like, hey honey, you see, all of us we're streaking, we're having a good time, and there's like nobody there, and it's just him. She's like, get in the car. And that Frank the Tank. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Okay, I'm glad you got that reference. That's exactly. I think we'd have a lot of fun with this.
We could.
We'll talk about it later, but I think it's a good thing to have on the back burner for eventually using it. Maybe in a month or two, if we can figure it out, the exact details.
Wonder what the longest anyone's been banned from Six Flags is.
6 years, maybe. That seems to be their thing. Do the 6
because they didn't do the 6.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do the 6 years. Everything has to be 6. And why was this woman 5 years? Like, I want to know why. Like, I want to know like what goes into the reasoning for their, like, why not an indefinite ban? Why not a year? Why not? I feel like at that point 6 would be kind of just funny if they'd done that. Like, that would have been better marketing. That would have been like. Why are we doing this off air?
I don't know.
All right, can we... Second half of the show? Can we do something with that? Something can be there, please. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. we have to, let's talk Velocicoaster.
Oh, God.
I don't think anybody's done that yet, so I think we might be the first out of the gates on that one.
You know, these shorts were like... Sorry. We're not supposed to talk about it yet.
Yeah, don't get Travis. We'll talk about this later. We definitely have the thoughts on this. So we'll it's part of our news segment. If we talk about it now, this is why we just need to have the second half ready, and that way we can just jump into it and not worry about jumping the gun. But alas, we don't. I'm looking for anything to talk about at this point.
Let's talk about Volcano.
There you go. That's new. That's original. I like it. That's fresh. That's good.
It is. Actually, maybe we should move our first news story down to... Well, maybe you might not want to do that.
Why?
I'm not sure how much you want to say about that.
Oh no, I'm okay. I haven't heard anything, so we're good.
I mean, maybe you could move that down, and we'll just talk about that.
Yeah, but I don't want to put news. Putting news in the second half defeats the purpose of.
That's not really... I mean, it's news, but it's not really... Like, it's... Nobody reported on that. It's just a thought.
You're not on the show. You're not on the notes anymore. Again, you disappeared.
This time I closed them. No, I didn't. I don't know why it does that.
I don't know what to do. I mean, I think the explanation for the avalanche thing is pretty. I think there's only like really two avenues to take with it, so it's not like it would be that long of a discussion. I don't think.
I guarantee you, I can take it somewhere.
I don't want it to take that way, though. I was hoping we would not take it that way, because people know that's your thoughts on this. I'm sure already. I think I'm coming from a perspective that many people might not be, though.
Wait, what? What do you think my... What?
What?
What do you mean people already know my thoughts?
I'm pretty confident people know what... Maybe I'm wrong, but I know what avenue you would take it down, regardless of whether or not your thoughts, though.
What avenue would I take it down?
We're gonna get down to Volcano Avenue, and then you'll take it higher. Mm-mm. No, Bob, don't even... What? You 100%... That's... Yes, you would.
I've already discussed it, and I've discussed it with two different groups of friends.
Maybe you have, Bob, but
you... once.
Maybe you have, but you've not discussed it on the podcast, and it hasn't been like... You probably discussed it like via text message. That's different than... I mean, on here, it's definitely going to slip out. I know it. And then it would be like, oh, volcano. I don't care, but I just don't want... If we put it in the second half, it'll be like a whole thing. If we do it in the first half, I feel like it'll be quick news hit. Am I wrong here? Pam is on a call with my mother right now. I also don't know if she knows either, Timmy. Yeah.
absolutely Voyage is number one. Holiday World would have to really seriously like screw up to lose that distinction, or somebody would have to. No chain park will ever beat Voyage. I think I can pretty easily say that.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'm okay with moving, I guess, to Avalanche. I feel like it's kind of a quick story, but then it might divulge into something that I don't really care. I just don't care anymore. That's fine. I guess.
I mean, you're welcome to bring up other ideas. We could probably move. We could probably move the Frontier City one down there, actually.
I guess we could. That might make more sense. Is that I feel like that's more of like. I mean, it could be more of a news story, but it also like if we take it in a certain direction, it might not be. You know. If you know what I mean.
Yep, I know.
All right, yeah, let's do that. And I feel like that could be more to talk about as well, and not talk about stuff that we've talked about 400 times before.
You do realize now that you made such a big deal about it, I'm gonna have to say something about Volcano.
Oh my god.
Just to irk you.
You do realize I can edit the show and edit you out talking about it. Just to irk you.
You do also realize that we're going to go for like 30, 40 minutes on the first news line, and you're going to be like, oh, man.
On the first news line?
Yep.
I'm honestly just disappointed at this point with the Velocicoaster thing. Like, I understand that it's a June opening date, but this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen earlier on. It's going to be they do this kind of thing, like soft open it in January or February. But now, I mean, they're not even soft opening. It's pretty much just open. Like, I've heard that it's just been running nonstop for the past couple of weeks, or whatever the week, like last week, when it started testing, it just hasn't stopped running. So it's basically open. And everyone can ride it. It's not even like certain groups of people like, oh, if you're a pass holder. That's typically how soft opens work. It's not like everybody just gets to ride it. Like, it's pretty much just open. So I'm like, they should have just... like, if their intention was to just open it, then just... I don't understand why... Like, it's kind of like a lie that it's opening in June. It's not really opening in June. It's open, pretty much.
It's not officially open, though.
Yeah, all right.
It's still soft.
Yeah, it's soft. But it's hardening. Okay, that's not. That sounds weird. That's Junk Riders territory now. That was pretty bad.
Break down the day before it opens.
Yeah, exactly.
Be down for a week.
I don't know. I don't understand the June thing. Like, I don't get it. Like, it just...
Sounds pretty personal, Pam. But good for you, I guess.
It just got... I didn't even read it until you just said that. We're just going crazy. She said, talking about softening, getting hard, and just getting off. What have we stooped down to? What have we become? Oh my gosh. Oh man. Oh. Oh my gosh. Woo! Oh man. Pam, you're so oblivious. That makes it 10 times better. Oh. What about Avalanche? Oh. Oh man. Bob's dying. This is the hardest I've ever seen Bob laugh.
It's just all like
It timed perfectly, yeah.
I mean, everything, like just all the conversations going on.
We softened and
Oh,
hardened
man.
and then got off. Yeah, that was great. Oh man. Oh. Whew. Dude, Pam doesn't even know. She's probably sitting there going, "What's happening?" All right. What's the weekly poll?
Oh, no. There's a good way to sober me up.
What did Pam get off to? I'm just kidding. What did she get off? Oh man.
Weekly poll.
Pam, you provided us with a good one last week. Do you have any this week? You said the coaster events one. I honestly think we've done this before, but it's been a long time, so I think it's okay to revisit it. But again. Oh, you know what's going to start coming up again? I think June is the photo contest.
Oh yeah, that.
I like the photo contest. That was good last year.
Yeah.
Woo!
I have no energy left.
I don't care about my podcast. Just whatever, James. I just show up. You
Carry on. Carry on.
go on. When you start talking about Volcano, I'll pay mind. I'll pay attention. All right. Now the judges kind of sucked. We're gonna have to get new judges this year. The judges were kind of young. Did you like that one? Or should I say, Jung?
Why haven't I had Audacity up?
Just so you guys know in the chat, the actual way to pronounce Timmy's last name is Jung, not Young. People mistake his name as Young and it's Jung, so that's why I made that joke. So we always talk about that.
I get it.
I think you get it because you've heard that before. But some people might be like, what is he talking about? Why is he pronouncing his name two different ways? And which one's the correct way? I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick.
Handle yourself. Wait, what? 100 million? Wait, what? What's this? What? Hold up. Is there news I don't know about?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yes.
When was that? When did... Alright, editing the documents.
Oh, they killed me. They're killing me. This is old news, though. It's like a week old.
What do you mean week old?
This article came out.
Literally dated May 10th.
This article I'm reading now came out like 7 days ago, 8 days ago.
Oh. This one I can't subscribe. I have to subscribe.
I know, that's why I'm looking at another one.
Subscribe.
There's a blue loop one. Here's a blue loop one.
Yeah, Northern Virginia last night was nuts. I couldn't get near gas stations. West Virginia, nobody cares. It's like just normal here. In 100 million.
That's not that much. And it says our parks.
Huh?
He says parks too, like, I don't know, it could just be general improvements.
Yeah, I mean, like, isn't this what they normally do? Like,
Yeah, I think this is somewhat not normal and typical. I feel like I think this happened like a year or two ago. I think we had this similar news story of them investing some like level of money, a high amount of money.
This is kind of like the most Cedar Fair thing ever. Like, hey, this thing we do every year, let's like make it a big news story and say how great we are for doing it.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth talking about, to be honest.
We did maintenance on our coasters last year. Give us props. Every other park's like.
I think this is just general investment into their properties.
Unless Mike, did you hear something more about this? I gotta know, because usually you have something. Usually you mention stuff, and not fully have. Like, I don't know. It always seems like you mention something, but you know like you have an idea of something else going on that you don't necessarily share it away.
Peace out, Travis.
See you, Travis. I bet $1 million of that goes to Michigan's Adventure.
We're talking about the Cedar Fair investments right now. Maybe that could be the weekly poll. What is Cedar Fair going to invest in? A new
60 of that's going to fix Still Vengeance. That's such a great idea. If we just turn the wooden coaster into a coaster with still track.
Our problems go away.
I mean, as long as there's still track on it, the wood that's on it can't break, right?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Is that the thing? Is that the thing you've been talking about? Or is there something else you've heard since then? If a Gerstflower replaces Volcano, I will be pissed. That's easy. That's I-305. And probably Skyrush, too. I don't like saying GP, so I don't know. I don't like that. The problem is the answers to that question would all be from an enthusiast point of view, which kind of taints the meaning of that poll. That's what I'm saying. It's not really a good pull because we're only getting one side of it. Like, I seriously, like, there's a ton of people that love I-305. Skyrush is the same too. I-305 is a little more polarized. But then, like, all the enthusiasts are like, oh, I hate I-305. It was such a mistake because all the GP hate it. Like, no, you're just too ashamed to admit that you don't want to ride it. That's... Just say it. Just say you're a big baby and you don't want to ride I-305. Don't blame it on the GP.
So Pam, you're a big baby. In other words.
That's not, she is not really my target on that, but
Pam, low key, you're a big baby.
oh, now they care. Like, gotta say it. Let's get rid of Volcano. Why do we need Volcano? We don't compete with Gardens.
Oh, Bobberado.
I agree with that, Mike. But seriously, I guarantee you know a ton of enthusiasts that are like, "Oh no, I won't ride. I don't want to ride that," or they say it's a failure, or you know.
I-305's a great ride.
It is, but there you also know enthusiasts that even outside of Pam that like
outside of that big baby, yeah.
outside of that big baby.
All right. The weekly poll is going to be pertaining to about nice. Uh-oh, Pam's gonna go off on us.
That wasn't really directed to you, Pam. Just kind of came to that. Because you're not one of the ones that say that GP is actually like. You're not like the other enthusiasts that are all like blaming their dislike of it on the GP somehow. Like, it's the GP's fault I don't like this. Like, what? Shut up, dude. You at least own up to the fact that you don't like it.
I mean, it does have a lower ridership than expected, but I know we've had this conversation before, so let's please not talk about it. But
I mean, the park has lower attendance than expected, so...
it's, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like 2018 or 2019 numbers that they had released. Which, hey, I actually based... never mind, I can't say anything. Never mind.
Wasn't it? I thought I saw somewhere that they, like... It was like the third highest ridership in the park.
It is the third, yeah. Dominator's the first. And then I think it was...
I still don't get...
Twisted Timbers or something. And I think that's part of the problem, Mike, is that there are a lot of people that don't like that aggressive nature of it, which, I mean, I love it, but a lot of people don't. And I think that's why the numbers are a little hindered. And it's a mix of GP and enthusiast. I think most GP ride it because they don't even really realize it is going to be that aggressive.
Well, I see GP re-ride.
Yes, but that doesn't mean in numbers that are substantial.
No,
like, obviously,
about numbers. I'm just saying, like, I think that I don't know how like.
It has to be a mix.
But I don't know the right words.
I don't think it was a failure by any means.
Oh no, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it surprises me about Dominator, but it doesn't surprise me.
Dominator has like 800,000, I think, riders, and then I think.
Like, yeah, I mean, I've known Dominator's has been number one for like since it arrived.
And like
I certainly will.
and like 95% of the enthusiasts that will like. It seems like there's like a 5% of enthusiasts that hate those rides like with a passion, and then everyone else is like all right with them or they like them. Pam, I saw your thing. I literally, to be quite honest, I thought of that earlier tonight, and I'm like, nah. So, I'm pretty sure we've done that one before, and I don't really know my favorite park food off the top of my head. All park food
Here's a question.
kind of sucks, except
What
Knoebels.
food is actually good at a Six Flags park? Let's do so. I'm actually like.
Chopsticks. We know that.
I mean, yeah, well, I mean, it's good for Six Flags.
It's pretty decent. I mean, yeah.
But I actually kind of want to hear people say like what they found in Six Flags that they actually enjoy food wise.
Screw it. Why not? Let's have a fun
I'd really
one.
like to know that. Huh?
I said, screw it. Let's just have a fun one this week. This isn't really one that's necessarily the most.
Oh, you try to find ones that aren't fun? I'm sorry. Did I screw up the process?
Well, I mean, typically they're fun, but like, this isn't something that like everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, like we have to hear the answer to this, the most intriguing or compelling poll. But it's fun. And typically it's like, what is wooden versus steel? Like
Yeah, but
answered this week on the Coaster Talk podcast. I can't be like, we're talking about the best food choices at Six Flags parks. Woo! Come and listen. It's fun though.
I'm more looking forward to the responses here.
That's what I'm saying. It's a fun one. It's something that people that are tuning in for like a funny or fun. Because I'm sure we'll be jocular as well with it because
we'll get some amazing responses. I mean, there's Twix bars.
Jocular.
You just can't buy them because all the machines are broke.
All right, are you ready to start then? So we have the show rundown ready?
Oh, I still never opened Audacity. No, we need to talk a little bit more.
There once was a man from Peru who dreamed of eating a shoe.
Did you eat a shoe?
I did, Bob. That was my confession in poem form. I also went to Peru, but that's of less importance.
What?
Hello.
What? My Audacity's picking up something different. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, man. This is great. Hello, and welcome to your mama's house. Nope, that's the wrong. Hey, there we go. Hey, my. Rock and roll will never die. Let's see if that sounds good. It's better to burn out.
Why is...
Hey. That's really loud. Jeez Louise. Pretty sure my gain is all the way up. That might be why. Nope, no, it's not now. That's definitely louder. Yeah, alright. Whoopsie. Let me just turn it down on here. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Why is Audacity doing this to me?
Don't do it to me. Don't you do it. Hey.
Goodbye.
Hey.
Na. Goodbye.
I don't think
I-
you understand what just happened,
Wait.
but it's all right.
I
It doesn't matter. You didn't
What-
because it's okay. It doesn't matter. I unplugged my mic for a second because I needed to. I was trying to see if it would fix this issue I'm having, and you just like, right when you went goodbye, like, blurted out really loud of my PC, and I was like, I'm probably sure my mom heard it in the other room.
That's awesome.
It's just like goodbye.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Hello, testing. Oh, that looks better. Hello, testing.
I'm actually wondering if Hershey Park's cinnamon bread will be as good this year. Like as
Hershey
good as
Park
Hollywood this
sucks
year.
my balls. Sorry, I'm testing my audio. First thing coming to mind. Hershey Park sucks my balls. It's so loud, but it was funny.
I need
Hello.
to reset.
Hi. Yeah, I don't know. I might need to too. Hi. My audio is coming through like really loud. I don't. It's like.
I told you there's something wrong with your mic.
No, this has happened before.
I was telling you goodbye, Jill. If that's what you're if that's what you're referring to.
Probably.
Wait, what's not funny?
What's happening? Has someone like hijacked our stream and is like talking over us or something?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know who raised them. I mean,
I thought that was pretty cool. That was a good. That was a good exchange there. Pam, it was pretty dang funny.
what? Wait, what? What was she saying? It's not funny.
My balls. The comment about my
Oh,
balls.
that, okay.
Bluetooth. Hello. Testing. Bluetooth. Hello.
All right, I cannot get Audacity to use this.
I'm gonna. I can't. I don't know what to do.
Hey, let me try Pulse.
Are we okay volume-wise for you guys?
Testing. Now I have no idea what it's doing. Wait, what?
I'm asking the live stream audience if we're okay volume-wise. Yeah, Mom, you met him. He was at the BWI when we landed from Holiday World last year. I think that I don't know if that was the first time you met him, but you for sure met him then. It's Jill. Uh-oh. It's back. Testing. Hello.
Hello.
Testing. It was the noise was back for a little bit.
Test 1 2. Why? Oh my God. All right. What if I take my I don't know what's gonna happen here. Something's about to happen.
It's about to go down.
It's going down.
I'm yelling timber. You better move. You better dance. I'm sorry that's the song that comes to my head, but it is. Let's make the night. You won't remember. I'll be the one. You don't forget. Oh. 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 Oh man.
I literally unplugged my webcam, which is its source right now. Like that is what Audacity's picking up, and it still refused to use the mic.
That's not cool. That's unacceptable.
It's not cool. It is unacceptable.
Don't you love this? I love this that we get on so early and this always happens. Hello, 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 hello. I don't understand how my mic settings change so much.
I had a haircut a while ago.
Yeah, Jill, you're really far behind.
It's not. This isn't my mic settings.
I don't understand how my mic settings
saying,
change so much.
Well, the problem is because I'm
Yeah, Jill,
always
you're really
unplugging
far
and replugging
behind.
all these different audio devices.
I guess I guess I'll try to sit further back from the mic.
I'm yelling timber.
You better move. You better dance. Hello, I'm James Barber, and I'm testing my audio. I'm kind of far away from my mic, but it seems that's the only way I'm going to get good audio quality tonight. Hello, I'm James Barber, and I'm testing my audio. It's starting to piss me off. I'm starting to want to fight. I'm starting to fight my mic.
Mike's the only person that caught that. I actually I saw it and it didn't even register. Like, yeah, what are the other two things? Now I want to know.
Wait, when did she say that? Yeah, for sure, Timmy. Hi, I'm James, and I'm the host of a show with a microphone that sucks really bad.
Please tell me somebody recorded that.
Doesn't work, I'm going to strangle the mic. Hi, I'm James, and I'm the host of a show with a microphone that sucks really bad. I was talking about your mic, by the way. And hey, I didn't specify which microphone.
Oh, well that's okay, because apparently tonight
doesn't
I'm
work,
using my
I'm going to
webcam
strangle the
because
mic.
Audacity says so.
That's not cool.
All right, I think maybe I'm gonna have to close everything.
Close everything.
Whoa! What do you mean I'm about to close 71 tabs? Don't do that. Oh, because okay, I'm gonna be out of chat for a few minutes.
My mom's like having a full conversation.
Now I'm going to.
Hey, Sean. I don't know if you're still there.
All right, I'm gonna exit Discord and I'll be back in a second. All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
I can't hear you now for some reason.
This is our secret language, everyone. Now it's just me. There's double of me. Bob will be back soon, guys. We were ready to record, and now technical issues. I think my mic's good to go. I'm James. Oh, now I can't even see my now I can't even see my audio. That's great. Don't you just love how these things work out? Hello. Can you guys hear me? Oh, yeah, you can.
All right.
I'm able to hear you. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Now let me plug the webcam back in and hope everything.
All right,
is
everything.
haywire.
Hello, I'm testing my audio. Bob, you are a moron. And what are you talking about? I don't know what's going on. I'm really mad at you, Bob, but I'm kind of not mad at you at the same time. Now I'm really actually attracted to you. I'm just kidding.
And let's see where now. What's going on?
Whoa ho.
Whoa ho. All right.
Whoa ho.
Camera's on.
Hello, I'm testing my audio. Bob, you are a moron. And
oh my God,
what are you talking about? I don't know what's going on. I'm really mad at you, Bob, but I'm kind of not mad at you at the same time. Now I'm really actually attracted to you.
That was a situation.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Hello,
Fixed my stuff.
I am. Mine's working. It's just like not. Hello,
Okay.
I am.
Say so.
Mine's working. It's just like not. Now I'm afraid if I get too close to it, it's gonna. It seems to be working.
Nobody moves. Nobody dies.
Maybe if I sit back like this, for sure have it. I can relax. Relax. Go to it.
Don't do it.
That's not the lyrics. You're killing me.
It's funny.
You just ruined a great song. When you wanna go, relax, go to it. Alright, are you ready? I'm ready. Actually, I want to pull up the news stories, but then I'm definitely ready. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Wait, when I left, there were 2 James.
What? Oh yeah, there were.
Everybody's placing bets, and rightfully so.
All right, let's start.
Some,
We have 2 hours. We can finish in 2 hours. Come on.
Something still seems weird. Like my. This is the quietest, like the lowest level that my microphone has ever been. It doesn't seem. Are you able to hear me? Okay.
I can hear you fine. Everyone can hear me okay, right? I don't know why I just increased my volume. My speaking volume for that, but everyone can hear me all right, right? Nothing's changed. My audio should be sounding about the same.
I am a little quiet. Okay, let me change.
I can turn you up. Wait. Now it should be
Wait,
good.
no. No. I need to turn me up because Audacity's recording me low. All right. How's that?
You look good to me.
It's still not. It still seems lower than normal.
I'm just watching your audio levels on my end, and on my end it looks fine. But I don't know.
Well, but I'm paying most
Yeah,
attention
yeah.
to Audacity,
Sure. I don't know what it looks like there.
which is the priority here.
I agree.
All right.
I'm just
I
telling
need to
you
get
on my
angry
end.
at James.
They said it's better.
Okay.
Mom, this is not the time for those kind of
Can't-
jokes. It's a joke.
Oh.
Your lips are moving, but I can't hear what you're saying. That's a song by Pink Floyd.
I mean, it's my levels still seem. I mean, it's definitely better. It's closer to what it's.
Oh, maybe she's being serious. I can't tell with her now. You're killing me.
I know.
That's literally an exact lyric from one of the biggest Pink Floyd songs ever.
well,
I've become
you shouldn't.
comfortably numb.
You don't want to like try to force somebody to be a coaster enthusiast because that always backfires. But you can do some gradual nudging. Hey, you should ride this coaster, and then geek out.
Kind of, yeah.
Do you know?
Lead the.
Do you know who makes this coaster?
Build the framework for him, but allow him to complete it. Right? Yeah. Allow him
This
to complete
coaster
his
is built by Intamin. Therefore, it does not suck like a B&M.
And then he'll get off Griffin and be like, "That's the best coaster in the world."
And you'll immediately disown him. Oh, we have permission now.
From the authority here. She's the authority.
Respect my authority. It's going down.
Oh my god.
I'm yelling timber. It's stuck in my head.
Mystic Timber Falls, so yeah. Are you ready?
All right. I think so.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm your
Hi,
host.
girls and boys.
Hi, everyone. Ah, that was really loud. This is annoying me. I have the noise gate on. Maybe I don't. I have it on at 5. I'm going to see 7. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Hi, guys. It's James here from Coaster Talk Podcast. I'm Bob, and I'm from Pittsburgh. I have a niece and a nephew, a Volcano, my favorite ride of all time. I can't think of anything else. Oh, Dutch Wonderland, Merlin's Mayhem, Merlin's Mayhem, Merlin's Mayhem, Merlin's Mayhem, Merlin's Mayhem.
No, you don't say Dutch Wonderland. You say Merlin's Mayhem.
Yeah, Dutch Wonderland not so much, but Merlin's Mayhem. Oh crap.
Remember this time?
Joe Draves. There we go. I think we're good.
I showed up.
Hi guys, it's
at Dutch
James here
Wonderland
from
with
Coaster
Pam,
Talk
and she's like,
Podcast.
oh, I can't wait to spend the whole day here. I'm like, you realize we're going to Hershey Park, right? She's like, no, we're spending the whole day here. I'm like, there's no way we're spending the whole day here. She's like, well, what? We rode Merlin's Mayhem. What do we got to ride? Kingdom Coaster. All right. And what else? The car to Hershey Park.
Hi guys, it's James here from Coaster Talk Podcast. I'm Bob, and I'm from Pittsburgh. I have a niece and a nephew, a Volcano, my favorite ride of all time.
It's not a terrible park, but
It's a terrible park.
Definitely not. It's not a coaster enthusiast.
It's not a terrible park, but
No.
it's a terrible park. I'm just kidding. I haven't been there, so yeah, I can't say.
It's just definitely not a park that you're gonna spend a day at. No, I mean, if you have kids, you can, but
All right.
adults aren't.
All right.
All right.
All right. All right.
That was
I
definitely under pressure. Wait.
I thought you like whipped somebody or something. I like it sounded like a whip, like a whoosh. It's like, Bob, I've never seen the side of you before. What are you?
No, I can't drink it.
All right. God dang. We gotta think of something else to say other than all right. Okay. Okie dokie. Sure. I don't know. We got
Copacetic.
Come on, Bob. Here we go. I think you're trying to help them win.
No, I just all of a sudden just pictured like drunk riders doing a special of like actually. Oh wait, what? They're like of them actually taking bets on when we finish. They'll like record right alongside us and like through the whole episode.
Just monitor
like,
us, yeah.
They haven't started yet. All right, I think that I'm good on my side. Have you got yours
I'm good.
turned out? You sure?
I'm good. I'm pretty sure. Here we go. Hey, test. Yep. Good. Yeah. Testing. I'm good. I'm pretty sure. Here we go. Hey, test. Yep. Good. All right. Sounds all right.
I do have one question real quick. The third and fourth items on the agenda, are those separate or the
It's
same,
one
or
big
how?
story.
All right, I think we should talk about the bottom one first.
All right. I didn't really have any particular order to discuss it, but that's fine. If you want to.
I'm just because I think that is
Oh.
a more logical way of.
Okay.
It's like, hey, go work for this. Oh yeah, by the way, this exists.
I wasn't gonna necessarily. I was gonna basically just say. I was just going to kind of talk about it and then be like, and then we know that because there's a job, like I wasn't going to necessarily do it in that order.
Wait, why'd you link to microchip storage?
What?
Oh, never mind.
Oh my God, can we just start?
Yes. I was pulling up the link and it said there was a microchip shortage. It was literally the link you gave me, but it was like I had to scroll up. So I don't know. Somehow I ended up scrolling down while I clicked it. Three. Really, you're gonna do this? Can we please start? Can we please start? All right. Now let's just.
Who made you the
play
3, 2,
around.
1 guy? I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I just always.
I know. You like it, so I like it.
3, 2.
Welcome back to another week of Coaster Talk podcast. I am your host, James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And it's May 16th, 2020. This is episode number 120. And
there's actually an important announcement that the U.S. government would like you to know. Let me pull this up for you. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Council says, "Do not fill plastic bags with gasoline."
This is your emergency broadcast system. We highly suggest not doing that.
Apparently, Target bags are not approved containers for
gasoline
fuel
storage. Nope.
Who would have thought?
I don't know. That just seems like such a sensible thing to use. Like, come on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That just really shocked me. I really needed my government to tell me that. I'm really glad that there's the government for that. I'm glad we can rely on them for that kind of thing.
The sad thing is, there are people that apparently actually have needed this, because I've actually heard people that have witnessed this occurring.
I am one of those people.
There you go. People actually putting gasoline in plastic bags. Yeah, it's kind of weird here. Well, actually, it's really funny because Virginia is like nuts.
Yeah.
I was at work really late last night. I think I worked till like 4 a.m. But like at like 11 p.m. I was like, I need a drink, and all the break rooms and stuff are still shut down in the data centers because of COVID. So Sheetz is right next door. So that's a quick, yeah. I like drove, pulled out of the parking lot and drove, and there's like this like traffic stopped. I'm like, what? Like, I'm thinking there's a wreck or something. I'm like, all right, well, Sheetz is just right there, so I'm gonna go around them and go into the next entrance. I was like, wait, no, that is literally the line for Sheetz. It was crazy. But then, like, as I'm driving home, I did find a gas station in Virginia that had regular. But I drove home, and then it was like, on my way home is like all the 24-hour gas stations, like on my path home, closed. Welcome to Virginia. Everybody has gas.
West Virginia.
Welcome to West Virginia.
Yeah.
Everybody has gas.
I was about to say, wait a second. People are going to start coming here, and we don't have any gas. So,
as soon as I crossed into West Virginia, like everything, everywhere, there was just gas everywhere.
Yeah.
Apparently, Charlestown now is. I think some Virginians are like escaping across the border to get gas right now, but
crossing the
here
border.
In Martinsburg, we're good so far.
Yeah, and I'm in Central Virginia here, so I'm surrounded completely. I'm engulfed by Virginia. I have no easy access to another state, and for me, it's completely and totally what Bob experienced, but all around me. I have no quick passage into West Virginia to save me. So there's like one gas station near me, Wawa, which has gas, and I got gas there today. But other than that, most gas stations have either had hour lines or are completely out. Many of them, like Kroger near me, an Exxon near me, are just out. Just have the cones out in front of all the pumps, and you see people speeding up, getting into the turn lane to turn into the gas station, and then you just see them cut back over into the lane so they can find the next one they can try to get into. But yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Here's the craziest thing. When I was actually like, I wanted to get gas. Like it was. I mean, I drive a lot, living an hour away from work. So I genuinely needed to fill up. So like whenever I left work at 4 a.m., I drove past the Sunoco. Like all gas stations are closed or out of gas, and this Sunoco weirdly looks open, and like there's nobody there, but it seems open. There's gas prices up there. Like okay, I pull in, and I start pumping gas, and I look around, and like a lot of the other pumps had like the plastic bag over the pump, like out of service or whatever. I'm like, well, that's really odd that there's that many pumps out of it, but whatever. So I finished filled up, started pulling out, and I passed one of those pumps, and there's this big sign on there: attention, due to the pipeline, yada yada yada, we are currently out of all grades of Sunoco gasoline. Sunoco is trying desperately to obtain blah blah blah. And I'm like, what the hell did I just put in my car? Like if you're out of gas, like something's in my car. I made it home. I don't know.
My car is running on something. Some form of fuel is powering my car.
I don't know. My guess is that I mean, Northern Virginia is like completely dead at night. Like there is just nobody out. And my theory is like somewhere like around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. that gas station probably got a tanker in that refilled their tanks, and they just didn't take all of the signs off at that point.
You didn't have to remove any plastic bag. It was just open too.
No, it was that pump was open.
Okay.
There were a couple pumps that didn't have it, and then a bunch of other pumps that had the plastic bag with the sign. So I don't know, maybe half the gas station was out of gas. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I mean,
it could be that they just were so low that they were like, all right, let's just close it down, and they maybe forgot to put up some.
Yeah,
or I
that
don't
may
know.
have been the other thing. It was just so low that they're like, well, let's just get ahead of the game so that when it happens, we only have like a couple pumps to tag, or who knows? I may have been the last one to fill up there.
Yeah,
or I may have been the first one to get. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't even. I really. Who knows what I put in my gas tank? It works. It seems to work. So I'm going with it.
Yeah.
My car breaks down next week. Well, Sunoco, you'll be hearing from me.
So this could not have come at a worse time for me. Well, I don't necessarily think it'll affect my trip too bad, but I will be going to Cedar Point actually. After the reason we're actually recording on a Wednesday night, which it is tonight, is because I'm actually leaving tomorrow, the Thursday after this show is being recorded, to go to Cedar Point. And that'll be, let me look at the date, that'll be the 13th of May. So anyone that's listening to this in the future can have a time reference here. And I'm worried that, well, I'm not necessarily worried, but there's a chance that something might be affected by me going at this time. There might be some sort of gas shortages in Ohio. I don't think there will be, and I've done an extensive amount of research, and most people in Ohio aren't concerned about there being any type of shortage in Ohio. The worst thing I can see happening is the prices will just go up, and that's going to happen everywhere. So I think I'm all right, but that it couldn't have happened. It happened like a day before I was leaving, like something like a national. My state's gone into emergency mode, like everything. It's pretty funny, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm leaving. I'll see you guys later. You guys have fun with this. I'll be back in a few days when you guys get this under control.
I kind of wonder if Northam hadn't state of emergency, if this actually would have been a problem. Because this is, I mean, at least in Virginia, this is like panic buying. So, it's like, is it just like, oh, we're in a state of emergency for gas, I better go buy gas?
I think that,
like, if Northam just didn't say anything, would we be okay, or would it? I think North Carolina has more of a problem. I think I read that like 60 or 70% of their gas stations are out of gas right now. So North Carolina seems to be definitely the hardest hit. But
I think that's the predicament we're in. I think it's people.
I mean, there's no doubt this is mostly panic buying. That's just what
most
it
definitely.
is. But then there's also that, like, okay, well, if I sit here as somebody who has to get to work, like, panic buying is going to happen. I kind of have to panic myself and like make sure I'm prepared. So it kind of
It's a
becomes
chain
this like
effect. Yeah.
even the yeah, and like but you're stuck in it. It's like I understand the law, the like, oh, I shouldn't do this because it's bad, but at the same time, like
What if?
everybody else is going to do it,
And
so
and what
I
if what if there is really like a crisis? I don't know. Like yeah, it starts to
now
become
I didn't like it wasn't like, oh, I need to go buy all the gas cans because let me get I can guarantee you there's probably not a gas can available in the state of Virginia right now. Um but like I'm not one of those, like I was like, no, I just need I need to fill up my car, which is what I did. Um but like even my sister, I told my family in Pennsylvania, I was like, hey, just a heads up, like this is what it's like down here. So they're like, oh yeah, we should probably just go fill up our tanks, which sure, you need gas, go do it. My sister went and she's like, there was this one couple that was just like, they had like six gas cans they were filling up and lugging into their truck. Like, no, that's a problem.
yeah. Yeah, it is. But we've hit the 10-minute mark, Bob. I think we should get into some coaster talk.
Oh, is that what I thought that happened on Thursdays?
Thursday
Oh, I'm in
nights
the
at 9 o'clock.
wrong
Oh
show.
yeah, that's not. We need pipeline talk. But yeah,
Pipeline talk. We'll make this whatever talk we want.
yeah, just
This is
whatever
just
fits our mood of the day.
talk podcast.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's transition into what I know many are here for. Some roller coaster and theme park discussion. First up on our rundown is an interesting piece of information that we've obtained via King's Dominion fans. King's Dominion published a 2021 map, their 2021 map, and people have taken notice. And Katie fans again was the very first group to point this out, so I'll give them the credit. That Avalanche, the Mock Ride's bobsled coaster, is not labeled on this map. There's no text over it, and there's no like circle with the number in it that you can go and find it on the key either. So that's kind of leading a lot of people to be concerned about this ride's future, which I think is fair. But
It's fair. It's definitely fair.
it's definitely fair. My theory with this is, and again, I'm not. It's King's Dominion, so it very well could be that they're just getting rid of it. I don't think they'd put it on the map at that point, but they would just be gone. If it was just
Right.
gone, that would be more, I think, forthcoming and pretty obvious that they weren't removing it. I don't think they would keep it on the map. I think what's happening here is it's possible that the point of access for the new coaster's construction interferes with Avalanche's queue, because it's like right next to where Crypt was, and they might be doing an extensive amount of construction in that area that is kind of interrupting the area to get into Avalanche. So that's my theory. I think we'll see the ride open back up when we see this SNS free spin open. I really hope it's not gone, because this is a ride that doesn't necessarily. I don't necessarily love this ride, but it's a ride that means a lot. It's one of my first rides. My dad loves this ride. It's one of his favorite coasters, so it would be sad to see it removed entirely.
I actually have a couple different theories on this. First of all, let me say this. If King's Dominion removes this ride within, like, let's say 5 years, they are far dumber than I ever gave them credit for. I mean, just like, you can't put yourself in the position that they are in now and then say, oh, hey, here's a good idea. Let's get rid of another coaster. So
I can't. Yeah, I can't see them doing it.
I don't think it's going away.
I agree.
That's not. I don't think it's going away. What you said is actually one of my theories. Like, maybe it's just, yep, we just got to close it down during construction because we just didn't feel like building it through the winter for some reason. Like, what? I mean,
Yeah, I think that's strange as well. But that's another story.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue. But here's another thing that I thought about. if you're gonna keep Safari Village as Safari Village, Avalanche remains the sore thumb.
Yep, I agree.
It just doesn't
That was another
fit.
one of my theories.
So what do? There's two different things here. One, okay, maybe we could do some kind of major retheme, but I don't know what would fit. I don't know. I don't really buy. I mean, maybe there's something. Maybe though. I don't know. That's one possibility. But then again, this is also Cedar Fair, and theming is whatever. Like their retheme would probably be like, let's take every reference of a bobsled off, and just say it's another coaster. But
Or they'd be
here's
like,
something that I think that, well, yeah, but here's something that I think might be a more like a bigger possibility.
more likely. Hmm.
Avalanche is very close to people don't you don't actually realize this in your mind, but it's actually not very far away from Dominator. And
Yep.
it would actually be trivial to redirect the queue to enter at like at the bottom of Dominator near the stadium entrance
Hmm.
than entering in Safari Village.
Yes.
And then in that case, you can build some kind of divider. You keep it separate. You don't have to do anything with it. It becomes its own thing outside of Safari Village.
Yes.
And then Safari Village can be built in whatever fashion they feel necessary.
Very similarly, I didn't think about the queue. I was thinking that they also might just be creating a path there to access the rest of Safari Village, because you have to like do this weird walk around into Safari Village. You have to, like, if you're at Dominator, you think, oh, there's Avalanche. You can see Avalanche right through the trees, like you said. It's right there. People don't realize it, but it's right there. If you look hard enough, you can see it over there. And I was thinking, not necessarily that they're building a path for the queue of Avalanche, but that they're just building another access point to Safari Village. Yeah, that's what I was. We were thinking along the same terms there.
They could actually. I mean, they could. That's actually. They probably should have.
Because think about it,
pathway
because they're getting this new
Safari
ride there
Village
too, and most people think they're going to be adding a new ride over there anyway, in addition to this 40 free spin. So if you can have as many access points as possible to this new area of this park where you're going to be building up, I would think that you'd want to expand.
But even if you add that, you would still I still think that it would be ideal to redirect the queue and
You
keep
could
Avalanche as something
yeah.
that's not part of
and
Safari Village.
in combination with that theory that you have, I think that you add a queue, but you also could have it split off and then have an actual main path there as well. So I think in a perfect world that's what they would do, but who knows what they're actually doing. I think that's the smartest decision, and you reduce congestion in that other area, because especially if they're thinking about adding another ride over there to replace Volcano, it's going to be heavily congested trying to get through that one little, there's 2 or 3 little pathways to get into Safari Village right now. So now you have one you can come from Candy Apple Grove, you have one that you could come from if you're coming from I-305, and you have one coming from the Dominator area. I think that just makes the most sense.
Well, an I-305 isn't really. I mean, you can't really consider that an access point because it's the only access to I-305. So there's not people coming into it from there. They have to go through Safari Village, so that's additional traffic in through Safari Village. But I think that that does make sense about. I didn't think about adding the pathway, but that does make sense. And both of those really, if you're doing one, the other is trivial to do. So you just put a pathway in there, redirect the queue kind of, outside of the pathway, but as part of the same clearing. And, it's like, oh, you go right to go into Safari Village, or left is actually Avalanche.
Exactly.
Which, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
And
that's always
construction.
been the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you always hear people talk about Avalanche just doesn't fit in Safari Village, and I'm sure KD's probably been going through that same thing. Like, how do we work around this? What do we do?
And honestly, I don't know if a retheme is really worth it. I mean, think about the money they'd have. I feel like laying some concrete out is actually probably would reduce the cost in comparison to that of a retheme. I mean, if they would have to redo some trains, they would have to paint the tracks something different.
But let's also face it. I mean, what better theme is there for a bobsled coaster than bobsleds?
Yeah, sure, exactly. And I think, again, in conjunction with that, the retheming would be, I think, more costly. So if they do go that route, I don't fully comprehend why. Like, I would love to hear the rationale if they actually do end up just retheming it and not just cutting off a queue and building some more. I mean, it can't be that. I can't see laying some concrete down being more expensive than taking apart a ride and completely giving it a retheme. I don't know.
I mean, retheming for that would just basically be painting.
A lot of painting.
I mean, it may be, maybe it's just, well, I mean, it is kind of due for that anyway.
It is, but it would be a lot of painting, and it would be, I mean, because the white is really, to me, what sticks out a lot. I mean, yes, like the countries on the front of the trains too, but like it's white, and like everything else is safari, it's Congo, it's kind of like jungle-esque, and then there's like this weird white coaster in the back. So you have to repaint the whole ride, something else. I don't think a white, and there's nothing really like white that sticks out in my mind in a jungle setting.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. But no, what I'm saying is like the retheme would, as far as costly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I think honestly, I think all of that paint would cost more than laying out like 100 feet of concrete or 200 feet of concrete.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point it's going to need painted anyway.
Not necessarily.
Regardless, I think.
I think it needs it now, but I don't know if it'll get it. Like that's what I'm thinking. Like they might just say nah. And in that case, the concrete option I think is the best. But I don't know. We'll see. I think my theory of the construction is more likely. I would prefer this theory that we've gotten to, but I think that it's probably just either it's obstructing the access point to have the ride open, or they don't want people over there looking at the construction of this new ride. It's either one of those. I think is most likely what's
possibility, because we've never seen a free spin before.
Yeah, I know. But Cedar Fair is just weird and different about their construction processes. I mean, I know they were getting mad at people even coming off the highway, standing on public property and taking photos of the ride. So,
but that's the one thing about Cedar Fair. Like they've never actually built a coaster during the season, as far as I recall.
Not that I can think of. I'm sure they have.
I mean, there was some stuff going on with Still Vengeance. Like, that had to happen. I think that's the only case that you actually saw construction, at least in my recent memory. Cedar Fair has always tried to do it. And then you had this opportunity. It's not like they were, like, restricted from doing construction. So, yeah, I don't understand that either. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, though. And to see if they actually put this free spin up and, it's not just like sitting in the parking lot for storage on its way to Michigan's Adventure.
Yeah. We'll have to see. We have some people going up there Sunday. Not either of us will be there, but this Sunday coming up is the pass holder preview. And if anything occurs... if we see anything, hear anything, we'll let you guys know. If we get any information from our inside sources.
Oh, Sean actually mentioned in the chat that Top Throw Dragster was actually built over a season.
Yeah, I was like, there has to be something. I'm sure
that is true. I'm sure there are other things, but they really
recently it seems, yeah.
They always seem to try their circumstances. Like this is a free spin. This isn't like record breaking like. Dragster coaster that's never been done before. Like this is a free spin that's like kind of.
It should take like 2 weeks for them to assemble this thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's. We got Airtime Mike in our chat right now. He said Cedar Fair is very good at getting new rides completed. He'll be there Sunday. Free spin will be there Sunday. No, it won't be.
Even if it's there Sunday, I don't know if Mike will be riding.
Well, that's true. Mike won't be.
Well, we're going to stick with Cedar Fair. And we're heading up north, though, to the Canadian wilderness. We're going to Toronto, actually.
That's not really the wilderness.
Yeah,
there.
we're going to
the only part of Canada.
That's like the only part of Canada that's the exact opposite of that. Yeah. we're going to Canada's Wonderland, a park that just announced that their Platinum Pass holders will be their passes will be extended into the 2022 season, Labor Day of 2022, as of now.
Woohoo!
And as some of you probably
Glad I
heard,
renewed my pass.
Bob is a Canada's Wonderland pass holder.
Yep, that's where I renewed my pass back in 2019, into 2019,
Yeah.
and I literally think I used it for like a single visit to Winterfest in like maybe a couple visits to Winterfest.
And so, I think we talked about this a couple episodes ago when you brought up the Canada's Wonderland pass situation. Do you know how? So, do you have the physical pass now, or is it on your phone or on a device?
No, the pass is so. I don't even remember which my pass says. I think my pass says King's Dominion, but it hasn't been a King's Dominion pass for like years. Because I initially physically got a King's Dominion card. But like it's all about where you renew your pass. So
Yes. Yeah.
I think 1 year like I renewed at Dorney. But then I started realizing the economics of it. Canada's Wonderland just makes more sense. Because I don't have my credit card doesn't have international transaction fees, so that's just where I've been renewing it. So that means like my benefits would actually be Canada's Wonderland benefits.
All right.
So even though it's not really what your pass physically says, because it's just where it was renewed last.
Yeah.
Or and actually there's other circumstances that occur. Like I had my pass was so old at one point. When I got the fun picks, the season fun picks, the card was actually not compatible. And whatever park I bought that at had to actually give me a new card. So like that didn't change my card. Like that didn't change what my home park was. Even though it said that park's name, it's that's kind of irrelevant. They should probably just stop putting that on there.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering, because this is something that has not really happened before. I mean, we pass extensions are a new concept, really, with COVID. How you plan on visiting other Cedar Fair parks this year, correct? Is that affected by this? Is that, does Canada go, oh, well, you're using your pass, so we can't, because I feel like the extension's there because people aren't able to use it in Canada.
But they could do it the other way around, too. Like, you could be in Canada and still go to Cedar Point.
How? Because there's supposed to be travel restrictions, right? So...
Yeah, but... It's my understanding. I don't know this for sure, but I've actually had discussions with people, and like it's my understanding that those restrictions are not.
I was one of the people that told a few weeks ago I told you that, as like, I don't know if that I'm not one of the, I might not be one of the people you're referencing, but I definitely agree. But Canada's Wonderland might be saying this based off of the fact that because they're always like, oh, we're listening to the health experts and everything, so they're obviously under the belief that many people aren't going to be using it.
The same thing came up with Knott's Berry Farm. They changed their schedule a little bit at some point.
But I feel like anything domestic is different. This is another country. I feel like.
But no, that's what I'm saying. If you were at Knott's Berry Farm, you got a different benefit. Like you extended. I forget what it was. There was something. Was it Knott's Berry Farm opened sooner, so Knott's Berry Farm's passes? I don't know. There was something that this occurred with Knott's Berry Farm, where people that had a Knott's Berry Farm pass was treated slightly different than the rest. But again, you could always just go to another park.
Yes, but so again. Because of this international restriction, I feel like
But what I'm
Canada's
saying
Wonderland.
is you're trying like what I'm saying is your argument is null and void because they've already allowed that cross park visitation and still kept that separate. Like they can't.
Now I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying because of this, like it's not necessarily with Knott's Berry Farm. If they went to another park, they're still they would be in the United States still, because of this international and everything. Domestic travel hasn't been necessarily shut down. You could still travel domestically. Like yes, some flights were shut down, but there was no like mandate like you can't leave this like any of the states. Like yeah, there were like some days where you're supposed to quarantine and stuff, but there was no restriction on necessarily going to another state or even staying in the air. I guess not actually in California because you couldn't go to any parks in California, but going to another state and going to a Cedar Fair park wasn't necessarily against any type of regulation or mandate from any type of government. Now, if people do go cross the border to go to Cedar Point from Canada, they would be technically breaking a international like law a little bit or temporary law that says you can't travel between the two countries, even though it's not really being maintained that well. They would be like, well, the health experts say this and you didn't listen to them, so you're breaching your contract or whatever. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know if that is affected. I haven't read into it too much. I don't even know if they have that type of information available, if you'd actually have to contact Canada's Wonderland and see. But I was just curious if that was... It's not really an argument. I don't really know whether one way or another if that's the case. I was just wondering if that is... That's my line of reasoning for that was that. That's what I was thinking might be an issue.
So the only thing is, other foreign nationals entering Canada, you must be traveling directly from the U.S. for a non-discretionary purpose.
All right. I don't...
So, well, let me see. You can't, if you're from India or Pakistan, you absolutely cannot. All right, I'm a United States citizen.
I mean, I know Canada's being very strict, so that's all I'm trying to say.
I don't have COVID. How do you plan on entering from the United States?
Let's see, yeah.
And let me see. Optional reasons: leisure, visits, weddings, upkeep of property.
All right, I don't want to fill this episode with too much dead space.
And it says that...
Is this like and you put your own input in and it generates like a response?
Yeah, it says... Yeah. Let me see.
Look, I don't know necessarily what the restrictions are now, but...
Yeah, so technically it is... technically it is saying that you can't for leisure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is Canada going to say... Canada's Wonderland, are they going to say, hey, you can't use your pass at another park, even if you are a U.S. resident, because the reason that we're doing this is because our residents can't travel to other Cedar Fair properties and utilize their pass. I don't know. That's just my thought behind it. I don't know if that's true. It very well could be that they're like, no, we don't care. Use it. Have fun with it. Do whatever you got to do with it. But I don't know. That was just what sparked my my thoughts on this issue. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Is that gonna cause any type of problem for Bob trying to go to another Cedar Fair park?
I don't know. I've wondered that myself, but they don't say that.
That exactly.
So,
but
I mean, they would have to say that.
I would think so. Again, I feel like most people. I think the only reason I would think that would be something they would definitely out front say. But I keep thinking, well, it is Canada, so they would most likely. They're like an hour or two into Canada. You have to drive an hour or two into Canada. They would probably assume that their entire audience is Canada. Like they wouldn't to them,
Well,
it might not
no,
make sense. Like, oh, there's a guy from Virginia buying a pass at our park. They might just be like, well, nah.
No, I guarantee you, Cedar Fair was well aware of this going on.
But it's very
Here's the
possible
thing,
that there's
though.
a slim like it's like a 1% or 2% of
But-
their pass holders are actually, and they just didn't think to include it. So maybe it's something that if you contact them, they'd tell you. I don't know.
This is the thing, though. It's not like. So there's certain things that it's not like you just pick a park, buy it there, and it's the same exact thing.
Yes.
I give up home park benefits basically in order to do that. So to me, there's nothing that is of any real use to me, so I don't care. Other people care. So in a sense, I give up certain things to be able to buy a Canada's Wonderland pass. And as a result, I kind of should be treated, because I'm making that.
Sure, but just because you think you're entitled to it, and I agree that I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that they will see it that way. I don't know.
No, but
Again,
I mean, that's the thing. They would need to say that up front, or say, like, if you're a U.S. resident with a Canada's.
yeah, that's
Canada
something.
Wonderland
I
pass.
think that would be something
I mean,
like
it's clear
a disclaimer at the
they-
bottom. Hey, if you're a U.S. resident, blah 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 blah.
I guarantee. I guarantee you there. It's a percentage-wise, it's a smaller number, but it's not an insignificant number of people that actually buy a Canada's Wonderland pass in the United States that are United
I think it's a
States citizens.
pretty slim margin, but I don't know. I think it's probably a pretty slim margin, but I don't know. I would love to see like a pie chart with all of the numbers, but
If it's such a small amount, then they don't care.
sure,
They're
sure.
just going to give that to.
I don't know.
If it is significant, they would have thought of it.
But it might be
and
something that
said it.
it's just how their passes work. Like if you try to go to a Cedar Fair park, it might say you're not allowed to be in. You're under. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It might not be something that they consciously are aware of. Like we have to not allow U.S. people to do it. But it might be something that's just like, oh, this is a Canada's Wonderland pass. They're not supposed to be able to be utilized until they open up. I don't know. That's all. I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
That's a different thing, and yeah, that's possible. Well, let's be honest. We could ask our friend Daniel about how well Cedar Fair tracks their passes. And stuff, and,
Yeah.
he's had. I mean, I've also had experiences, but I think Daniel has had the worst experience of trying to get into Cedar Fair parks with his completely legitimate United States only platinum pass. So who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean they see that's the other thing though. They haven't said like they never actually said your pass is disabled or your pass is not valid or anything like that. They just said we're extending it. They didn't say we're delaying it. They said we're extending it.
Again,
so the
I'm not
terminology legally says
legally.
seriously an illegal
Sure,
basis.
sure. I know. It's just funny that that's where you went with it. Again, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm not saying it is. I'm just in the back of my mind when I saw that I was curious if that at all was going to affect your visit to U.S. Cedar Fair parks, and it probably won't. But I think there's a small chance that they have something like that in place, maybe purposely, maybe not, where it could be an issue. I don't know, but I think we've drilled that into the ground. I think we're good with
So
with
basically,
Canada's
this all
Wonderland
boils
passes.
down to James is trying to say like, oh, unfair. No, I'm just kidding. He's just jealous.
I'm jealous,
Of my Canada's
yeah.
Wonderland pass. That's what's going on.
Damn it, Bob. You got me. No.
See,
I hope
back
everything's
in-
great. I mean, I want you to come down and go to King's Dominion and everything. So
It is interesting. I will say this though. It is interesting. Like my payments are still suspended. They've been suspended for a while. And like I noticed you can't because I still owe a few more payments on it. And I was thinking, well, you know what? I'm just going to log in and just pay it off. I can't do that right now because when I try to log in, it says like there's no active order. Which, I mean, I'm sure that clearly has to do with the fact that the payments are suspended, and that's just how they've worked their payment system because their payment system is very, very rudimentary. But I just found that interesting that like right now I can't just log in and just pay it off. I have to actually wait till payments resume. But I'm sure that's the same with every single park because they all use the same exact Accesso system. I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. All right. Canada's Wonderland passes are extended. That's the summary of that story
Are
there.
they?
I think they are. I think it's to 2022, probably.
Yes, it's September 5th,
Yeah,
2022.
Labor Day. I was joking. All right. So, a little bit south of that park in Buffalo, New York, is the Fantasy Island Amusement Park. It is a park that I pass by almost every year when I go up to Niagara Falls for a family reunion, and it's been shut down for about 3 years now. 2 or 3 years. It was an Apex Park property, and they decided to shut down many of their properties, including Fantasy Island, and it seemed the lights had grown dim on this property. We didn't think anything was going to come of it. We saw Indiana Beach get bought, and we were like, yeah, all right, that's great. We got one out of the two that are going to be saved. But it seems that our boy Gene Staples is coming in clutch yet again.
Yep.
He is in talks right now and entering into an agreement right now with the owner of the property Fantasy Island. That is all we know right now. There's not much more information, but Staples is looking to get the park up and running as soon as possible.
The other thing that we do know,
yes, there is
that there is now
mm-hmm.
There's now a corporation called IB Parks and Entertainment.
Yep.
Well, there is or there's about to be.
We saw a website go up briefly for a while. I know people were tracking that.
Yeah, there was a brief website that popped up, and then that was taken down.
Yeah, subsequently completely taken down. Yeah.
Yeah, but this listing lists it's for an aquatics manager.
Yep. At the IB Parks and Entertainment. I guess I'm assuming that this is just for Fantasy Island. It says IB Parks and Entertainment, but I don't think they're going to necessarily say Fantasy Island yet, as it hasn't been purchased yet.
It says the location is Buffalo, New York.
Exactly, yes. So I think it is Fantasy Island.
And
they just haven't said
Buffalo,
anything.
New York and Monticello, Indiana. But the fact that it says Buffalo, New York...
Yeah, the first one is Buffalo, New York, and on the actual main piece, like it's segmented off in different pieces. There's the actual job information, but the very top of this, the headline says Aquatics Manager, IB Parks and Entertainment, Buffalo, New York. Like that's the first thing you see. So I guess they're just not going to specify the park yet. I don't know. It seems strange to me that it doesn't say like which park it's at. They don't?
No, that's not actually. It's and with a lot of job listings, it's actually kind of rare to even see them list the company. Usually, in a lot of cases,
when I applied for a job, that's not the case. But all right.
Well, I mean, it's you're looking at corporate level stuff. Like when you get into like corporate level stuff, a lot of it's like because they don't want stuff leaking out. Like in case anybody's interest, today there was a listing posted, a job listing posted for a cybersecurity manager at the Colonial Pipeline. Literally, I'm not joking. That is actually a thing.
Yeah, and that said, the Colonial Pipeline.
which I think is because they're like gonna say like, look, warning, here's what you're getting into. But that damage is already done, is what I'm saying. Like, usually when somebody posts it, though, they don't want to say like, "Oh, this is going away," or have somebody else say, "Oh, well, this person's leaving," or "This person's about to get fired." Like, what if they're looking for a replacement for you, and you happen to be browsing through job sites and see a listing for your job, which has happened? They intentionally don't list those companies because of that reason.
I don't know. I don't have much experience with jobs, in fairness, so I'm not the best. I mean, I've applied for one job in my life, so I don't have that rich experience. But at least in my experience, I have seen companies list off their names. So that to me that caught my eye. But again, it could be like what Bob's saying. That's probably the case. But that's why I made that observation. I don't have much experience though in that field.
Yeah, and this is this is listed through IAPA, so it's not like it's listed on a job hunter site. I mean, of course, people use this, but and this is also a position that they're not going to be worried about. Like, hey, this is a new position. That's not as secretive as you have a lot. But
well, if you look at the bottom, jobs you may also like, if at least for me, it's popping up: ride maintenance manager, IB Parks and Entertainment, facility maintenance managers, more jobs as well.
Oh yeah, look at that.
So it looks like there's a lot of, and this is just Buffalo too.
That's all for Buffalo.
Yeah, this is specifically just the Buffalo location, which we know is Fantasy Island. Yeah, so this is interesting. I think this definitely points to a Fantasy Island reopen here soon. So anyone in that area, you can look forward to a nice little park coming back. I've passed that park so many times in my life, and I've never gone. I was there 2 years ago when they announced the closure. Yeah, and I was up there like looking at the park. I was gonna drive by, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm actually gonna stop and look at the park and take photos of like the old rides and everything. So I will actually get to experience this park now, which is awesome.
Funland of Fairfax is looking for an assistant general manager.
Ooh, Bob, you're not far off.
So here's an interesting thing. It actually does say there's a listing for a ride maintenance manager for Clementon Park.
Yeah, Clementon Park, Legoland. I'm seeing a lot of location names.
But that actually says Clementon Park.
Yes, it does. And that's why I was wondering as well
if
they would see them say Fantasy Island eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe that's why they're listing a second location, because if
the position falls through, yeah,
they'll give you a position at Indiana Beach.
Maybe.
Or the next park they buy.
I don't know.
Who could it be?
I don't know. Gene is he's buying them.
I've jokingly said before it would be great to see him buy Kennywood, but I actually kind of wonder if he's like, I mean, obviously he's kind of starting a chain here. So if he does look to expand, is he going to continue just like, oh, this park went defunct, I'm going to step in and save it?
I don't know if Kennywood's for sale though.
No, let me finish my thought. Is he going to just continue to buy defunct parks like that, or is he going to actually? Do you think he'd actually get to a point where he'd actually go to and actually approach parks that would be interested in like having takeovers and stuff like that? Like, I wonder if he would actually pursue that route as well.
Yeah,
or
I wonder
if he's just going to focus on saving.
I wonder as well if it's his intentions to buy parks that need it and need saving, or if it's just so happens to be that's just how it's happened to be playing out for him, where he's like, oh, this is a good park I can buy real quick. It's it needs somebody to buy it. Or is that actually like what he's looking for? Like he's just waiting and anticipating which park's going to close and then going to rescue them, so to speak. Yeah, I don't know.
And then there's that. Is he going to actually keep these parks? Is he going to let these parks
prosper,
operate on their own,
and operate? Yeah.
Or are they gonna, turn into a Cedar Fair and micromanage, or a Six Flags and like micromanage and like, no, you have to do it this way? Because, I think if you're going to be a chain operating these small parks, I think it's like really important that you let the parks be themselves.
And I feel like this is like a weird scenario. It's not a family chain necessarily, but it's also not like it's not like strictly corporate either. Like it isn't. He's not a corporate guy. Like this isn't right now. Isn't corporate. You know, it's not like a board and a CEO and all of these
Yeah, well,
formalities.
yeah, no,
Right now, it's like a mix of family and corporate. It's strange. It's a weird
right.
chain.
And I mean, well, you look at KEC, Kennywood Entertainment Company. They actually functioned the same way for a while.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's kind of like
With Kennywood, Idlewild, and Lake Compounce, and I think they might have had a couple others. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you could do that. Hopefully it stays that way. I don't know. I still like. There's still so many questions about what Gene's actually doing. And
yeah.
there's still also. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's still part of me that's going, please, like, don't bite off more than you could chew. Like, I mean, we want all these parks to be saved, but if you try to save too much and we lose them all again, you know, it's just gonna, you know, you shouldn't have done anything in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And this has not been the best couple of years here to test the waters with him. Like, we don't know because COVID's kind of hidden and hindered our view on this. We haven't seen him just have the parks open and everything, you know, just happen. We've kind of been like, wait, yeah, kind of looking over. Like, it's been weird because of COVID. So I don't really feel like we have the full experience with him yet, and what's to come. I don't know. It's kind of hard to project what will happen, but predict, not project, but
yeah, it's we just got to hope for the best, and you know, as always, just support the parks. Go to the parks.
Yeah. I know you're thinking about Indiana Beach still, on our trip.
Yeah, I should probably figure that out since we're less than a month away. I really want to get there this year. Really, really desperately want to get there.
Yeah. I definitely want to get there as well. I can't make it work for this trip, but I do want to make my trip there soon. I also want to try out one of the new RMCs, Bob. I do. I think these look kind of funny. We have a new style of attraction from the company, and it's not the T-Rex. It's not anything crazy. It's a family coaster. They're going in the family coaster direction. They're really wacky, and I don't really see, like, it just looks so strange, like, to see RMC track with doing, like, I think somebody did like an RMC Jackrabbit concept once, like, as, you know, obviously just a concept, not necessarily like saying that it needed to be RMC'd. And I was like, oh, it just looks so weird, like all these small little bunny hills, like it just doesn't fit the RMC that I'm used to. And to see it like these small little coasters from them, just it makes me kind of chuckle.
All right, here's my bigger frustration with this. Why are they why are we sticking to this hybrid thing?
Yeah.
I mean, these are going to be ground, or
Sure.
are they actually looking to do conversions of, like, are they trying to take over Woodstock Express? Is that what's going on here? Or
No.
like, why? I just don't understand.
I think this is going to be
I'm not
ground
an
up
engineer,
iBox.
but I don't understand, why are you going to build ground up with a wooden structure?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Why not try to implement, even if you like the track type, like the iBox track type, why not try to implement it with a steel structure? You know?
Well, I mean, they've done that, so
Yeah, like why not try to do that with these? Why are you going towards the wooden structure style? I don't know. It's strange. It's possible, I guess, that maybe when they actually end up building these, they'll be steel. I don't know how No Limits works, but No Limits, because the renderings we have show wooden structure. I don't know if the No Limits game or simulator has the steel structure.
So, like, which is literally that they use their same thing. They're like, oh, this is exactly the same thing. It's just tame. So it's not really I, I don't know. This is just a weird marketing angle
Well,
to
to me, I
me.
was
This
saying
just seems
maybe
like
it's possible maybe that No Limits just doesn't have the steel structure in that simulator. So I mean, because you could say it's the same thing, and then you could say, "Whoa, Goliath," or "Oh, this ride, that ride has a steel structure," and you could say that's the same ride as. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know if they're talking about their traditional hybrids or they're talking about the coasters with this iBox track that have implemented steel structure before.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is maybe yeah, this the steel was interesting. I mean, wood is just stupid expensive. So I really think that steel would have to be cheaper. I just don't and especially in the
And
long run. I
it's
mean, it's
for
got to
the
be
for the
easier to
parks. I feel
maintain.
like it's more marketable. This is an easier ride to maintain.
Well, see that comes back to this like it's that's this hybrid thing. Quit like they really started a monster with the whole hybrid name.
The
And I
hybrids,
think
quote
that's
unquote.
probably what this all comes down to is they're like, oh, well, if we say it's something
Yeah,
else, it won't be
I'm
as
gonna I'm
exciting.
gonna I'm gonna definitely go back on my statement. It definitely does say RMC hybrid, so it's not that No Limits doesn't have the steel. It's that they definitely are going to be doing the hybrid. So they definitely will be building with the steel, with the wooden structure. I didn't even see that until now. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well.
So like, is it literally just marketing? That's the only reason? And like,
Yeah.
I just,
I can't see why else it would be, unless it is also for that same reason you stated a little bit earlier, that they will be doing this to existing wooden kiddie coasters or family coasters.
which then, again, my same frustration with RMC continues forward. Like, I don't want to see more like, oh, hey, there's this whole sector of wooden coasters that we haven't come in and like destroyed. That's a stronger term than I actually mean. Let me be clear about that. Um, I like RMC's rides. They are fun rides. Like I'm
They're
not
excellent
saying oh
rides.
RMC's terrible or anything like that. They are absolutely fun rides. They're great coasters. But at the same time, I don't. I just don't like.
I
I
just
just
don't
don't
like
like
them.
this no, I
I'm
just
just
don't like
kind of.
this of like, oh, in order to build a new one, we have to like get rid of a wooden coaster. We have to sacrifice a wooden coaster to see one. I think that whole attitude has damaged this community in one way or another.
Yeah, it's possible that we see them come and do this to some family rides, which I wouldn't be happy with necessarily. I like Woodstock Express, all three of them that I've ridden. The one Kings Island, Kings Dominion, and Carowinds. They've all been great.
Yeah.
So I don't see a need there. You'd think this would be maybe sprung by the park saying, "Hey, can you do this?" But I don't see a need there for that to be done to those rides. Like those rides aren't rough, really. They're fun. They provide excellent rides for families to enjoy with their children. There's not a demand for this kind of product. So unless
And
I just don't
that
know, I feel like this has to be something that I guess they might be implementing. But
see
then again,
there's
that raises the
another
question: why wouldn't support? I don't know.
this is another thing that I have about this. Like what's the height requirement going to be for these? Because a lot of places are like, oh well, like Busch Garden calls for Bolton a family coaster. Well, first of all, a lot of kids like that seems kind of scary as like a first coaster
That
kind of thing for some
that
kids.
theming is even more
Yeah,
what makes that,
but
yeah,
but
a
more
scary ride.
importantly, I do not consider a 48-inch coaster a family coaster because you got to be 48 inches to ride it. That's
Nah,
why like
yeah,
that's why the Gravity Group family coasters and like the Vekoma and SNS in the suspended family coasters or invert what do they yeah suspended family coasters
yeah, they're
what they call it.
suspended.
Those are like 39-inch 42-inch requirements. You can ride or like you know much smaller children can actually, they're actually part of the family. That's the whole point of a family coaster.
Now I see, based on this rendering that we have of what their rides would look like, I see this being like 40 maybe, and then maybe there's like a 46 or 40, something like that. For kids under that height, they have to have a companion or something. That's what I see happening with this, because these are very similar to the like the Gravity Group family coasters, at least on the rendering again that we're looking at. They remind me a lot of the not Gravity Group, the GCI, or yeah, Gravity Group actually. Gravity Group, yeah, the family coasters like Oscar's Waxy Taxi, and Kentucky Flyer, and I think that's how those rides function in terms of their height requirement.
Well, yeah, but I mean, there's also the reason why you have the supervising companion is when the height requirement is due to mental capacity. But there's also physical capacity. Like the restraints physically have to hold somebody.
I
But
think
there's that issue of, okay, let's say the restraints could physically hold somebody that's 30 inches tall, but somebody that's 35 inches tall still doesn't have the mental ability to deal with being stuck on a lift hill. That's where that comes into play of why you have to have an adult with them, so that the adult is there to actually calm the child down in that fashion.
I'm aware.
But so the thing is with this though, I mean, you can even see a lot of these are like, trick track, sideways, heavy banks. I feel like there's going to be much more. There's a lot more. Obviously, it's not going to be like the full blown RMC hybrids, but I feel like there's enough there that's going to be like this. This is going to require more of a physical restraint than you typically see on. I mean, this is speculation on my part. I think
they said they're doing class 3 restraints, which
yeah, but all class 3 means is like that doesn't really say a whole lot. That's just part of the ASTM standard.
Yes, but that
doesn't say what like height requirements.
Not height requirements, but it does say like how restrictive it'll be. Like 5 is the most restrictive, 1 is the lowest restrictive. Like 1's like not even a restraint at all. I think 1's like you have like something to hold on to or something. I'm pretty sure that's how those requirements work.
Yeah, but I mean. So
if it's
those
3,
restraints would have to.
I think their hybrids are 5. Their typical hybrids are 5. So with that being said, 3 would have to be less restrictive.
It would definitely be less restrictive, but there's still going to be a they have to actually manufacture the restraint to actually restrain somebody that's
I don't see them making a family
or
coaster and a coaster that, I mean, again, I think greatly resembles ones in our industry already, and then making the height requirement 48 inches or 50 inches. Like that's just not.
I mean, I would hope not.
Rational.
I certainly hope not. That's.
I think for Bolton's
really
marketed as a family coaster because of the sole fact that Busch Gardens, for a long time, did not have a family coaster, so they had to say something was a family coaster.
Right, they tried.
They tried to, and then they got Invader, and they're like, "Oh, here's a real family coaster."
Which is still only 46 inches. Which
the height requirement, but it's still like in terms of the ride experience, it's definitely a tame ride. But yeah, so I think.
Do you think this will damage RMC's reputation at all? Do you think?
I think the RMC fanboys.
RMC, and then they go.
I think the RMC
like,
the RMC fanboys might be disappointed. I don't think for me it won't, because I like RMC. I've always liked RMC.
Oh no, but forget the enthusiast community. Just somebody like, oh, I've heard so many great things about these RMCs. I'm gonna go ride. I want to go ride this. There's finally an RMC, and they ride it, and they're like, what?
No.
I don't understand what everybody's talking about.
Well, the reputation of a manufacturer depends on the community. The community generates a reputation. So if it's outside of, it might. I mean, I don't know too many GP that just know RMC, and I don't really expect them to.
Well, no. Okay. I'm saying RMC. They are not going to recognize, oh, this is RMC, but they're going to go like,
you said, I've heard about
like
these.
Steel Vengeance. that looks almost exactly like Still Vengeance, like structure wise. Like that's how they're actually going to think. And then they get on and like, why?
But if they've ridden Still Vengeance, then they'll know it's an excellent ride.
That's my point. But they hear so many great things about Still Vengeance, but then they ride a family coaster, and it's an RMC, but it's still a family coaster.
I don't know. I think this is if they have knowledge of Steel Vengeance but they haven't ridden it, I feel like they have to be somewhat, maybe not full-blown enthusiasts.
Man, Steel Vengeance is so well known. Like, people talk about it's been on newscasts everywhere. Like that.
I don't know.
It's known well. It's well known outside of the enthusiast community.
Even if people know the name, I don't know if they would recognize the track type and make the two, the dot and dot, and make that pair. I don't think, and even so, the reputation to me is what the community generates. People will just ride whatever ride's there. They're not gonna, like even if one family coaster disappoints them, the next time an RMC is built near them or they go to a park with an RMC, they're not gonna be like, oh, these things suck. I rode one of these. They'll just ride it and then it'll be great, and then they'll be like, oh, this is awesome. I just don't see it damaging in that respect. And the enthusiast community, on the other hand, I do. I think a lot of the fanboys are going to be upset about this. Oh, my park's getting an RMC. Oh, crap, but it's a family one? Screw RMC, even though for 10 years they've been... I can't even say what I want to say on this podcast.
And that's the thing. I think the enthusiast community is smart enough to realize... I mean, they're smart enough to realize the gravity groups. I think the enthusiast community is smart enough to...
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be... I don't think these enthusiasts are going to be like enraged or like really angry or upset to a great extent. But I think it will be disappointing when somebody hears an RMC is coming to their park and then they go, oh, it's a family RMC. Because Gravity Group, we're used to them, and even some of Gravity Group's like smaller coasters have been really, really good. This is primarily targeted as being a family ride. Like Switchback at ZDT's is a smaller coaster that Gravity Group does, but that thing is not supposed to be a family ride. These are all going to be family rides, so I feel like they're going to be tamer. So it might disappoint some people when their home park gets that attraction. That's just my thoughts. I don't necessarily think it'll damage their reputation in any shape or form, in either the general public, the enthusiasts, the in-betweens, whoever. I don't think it'll damage their reputation because so many people have ridden their rides and know they're great. But I don't see that coming from this kind of project. But who knows? I think the only thing I could see is maybe some fanboys being upset.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care about RMC fanboys.
Really? I thought their opinion was so valued by you for this whole time. I didn't realize. You really don't care about them. Wow.
I care more about Wildcat at Hershey than I do about the RMC fanboys.
And I'm sure it cares more about you.
And Roar. And Roar at Six Flags America.
And I'm sure Wildcat cares more about you and Roar. All right. Well, we're going to move on to the second half of the show, where we're going to talk about the weekly poll. We have a little bit more to discuss when we get right back from it, but we will talk about the weekly poll, which is which coaster event is the best. We got some great responses. I'm happy to share with you guys after the break. We'll be right back after this. That was a weird transition, but I'm all right with it. Whew. That was the longest.
Amen to B&M launches.
That was the longest, I think, the show.
No.
I think the first half we're clocking it in an hour. Some of our shows have been an hour long.
Well, yeah, but you said longest.
I think it's possibly the longest first half we've ever done.
I don't think so. I mean, it's up there, but I don't think so. This is 120, so. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, episode 120. Let me see. So in 2009 or 10, that's when I was in elementary school. I don't know if I should even count this first half of 118 because that's when you talked about the Berenstain Bears for like 40 minutes. Let's see how long this.
You always try to trigger me, and then you lean. I don't think you realize how much you. I don't know how to put this. Like
Oh boy.
you say things that are just like perfectly set to get me going and keep me going on it. And like you've done this so many times where you're like, and I'm like, you're like, Hermia, and then I stop, and you're like, and blah 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 blah. I'm not like, "Mm, no, that's not what I was saying. And then I'm like, but, and then you get.
Because when we look at a side-by-side comparison of who's talking, it's like you for this, and then it's like me like this, and then it's like you like this. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, please just let. This doesn't always mean let's hurry this up. It means let me talk, please, because you've been talking for 30 minutes. Because literally, I'll pull up the show, and half the time it'll be like I can see right now where there's like this long of a thing where I just never talked.
No, I'm not talking. I'm absolutely not talking about the hurry up thing. It's just like it's that you say things that are just like, you couldn't have said them, worded them, or done them any better to get me
Like
riled
what?
up to say more.
Like what I just said?
Yeah. No, I guess that was no. No, I don't like. I don't know. I don't know. You just I like. I don't know how to put it. Like, you just say things in just that right way and that right tone that I'm like, no, that's not at all what I was saying. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it.
Oh, Bobby. I don't know why you do the show with me sometimes.
I don't know why I do the show with you sometimes. It's like my weekly torture to let myself to remind me that I'm alive.
The live stream audience is just like, oh shit, we're like watching the collapse of the of the Roman Empire.
I'm sure they've said that. I'm sure they've said that multiple times.
I can say the same thing for you sometimes, though. So you do that as well.
I never said that. I mean, I don't doubt it.
No. I'm just saying, I see where you're coming from. You said you didn't know how to word it, so I know what you mean, kind of. Sometimes you say things, I'm like, no, I don't really think that at all. But the difference is, I don't know, I feel like I limit myself in what I say more. I feel like you just go and go and go. And then you're like, well, but then this happens as well, but but this could, and it's like...
Well, honestly, here's another thing.
You just did it. I'm just kidding.
Here's another thing that happens a lot, and you may not realize this either. There's times where I go to stop talking, and I look up, and it looks like you're not paying attention.
Sometimes I'm not. I'll be honest. Sometimes I am not paying attention.
See,
because sometimes you just go on too much. I'm like, I don't know. Like, you just keep saying the same thing.
So you encourage it. Well, and when I'm kind of saying the same thing again, that's exactly what's happened. As I was going to stop, and I looked up, and you're just like.
No, because just not because I'm not because it's not typically not because I'm not listening to you. It's because I've already heard what you're saying the first 400 times you said it. And so I'm just kind of like, all right, I'm going to turn this off. And then when he's done talking about this for the 800th time, I'll get back in and jump in and say what I need to say. Like the thing with the family coasters. For a second, I looked at my phone because I'm looking at something. And then I finished and you were still talking about the same thing that you were talking about the minute when I done it. So I'm like, all right, yep, family coasters. I don't think it'll be an issue with the RMC reputation thing. But I mean... I knew what you were still talking about. I still knew how to respond to that. It wasn't like yeah. Blah, blah,
well, a lot of times you've come back and you've responded to I don't know. You've kind of responded as though was it you weren't listening. You don't do that often, but there have been times where you've done that, and I'm like,
it's possible. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll let that one go.
I think I don't know what it is. I mean, I've been told I have. Some shape of ADHD, so sitting still and listening to the same thing to me is torture. So maybe it's my weekly torture too. But yeah, so
we're nihilists. That's why we do this show.
This is our kink. I'm just kidding. Pam.
Exactly, Jill. That is one thing that I will say though. I maybe not 100% of the time, but almost always I am totally listening to everything you say.
I know. I hate it.
You hate it.
Because sometimes you're picking holes in like the smallest thing, and it's like, what the hell? It's like you have to find how I'm wrong or how I don't agree with like how.
No,
I'm just
it is
kidding.
not.
I'm just kidding. It's like, well, yes, James, but you said this, so I don't know about that. I'm just kidding.
Well, yes, James, but you're just an idiot.
That's why I come on the show so I can look some intelligent in comparison to you. No, this is definitely not a fight.
No, oh no, we've had fights.
We've had discourse. Yeah.
We have had fights. That's certain. There was actually one night not very long ago that I was literally like, "Do you think we could do the show tonight?" It literally got to that point.
Yeah,
for a bit.
I do remember
do you
that.
Think we could actually? Do you think we can actually pull this together for the show?
Which to me shows that we're true friends if we do it. So. Because if not, we would be like, "Screw you, buddy. I'm done with this."
Guys, we just stay together for the kids. Like we stay together for you. That's.
Yeah.
No other reason. No.
I never visit West Virginia. I don't want to go up there and see him. It's once a week and I'm done. I don't go to parks with him. I don't do anything. I don't associate with this freak. Oh. The thing is, this is the same way we talk to each other off air too. Like we'll get off air and we'll have the same kind of thing.
We will too.
So that's also how I know it's genuine. Yeah, you guys are gonna get the 12 thing right, sadly.
Of course they are.
I thought we would make it. I was like, oh, we're gonna do the news real quick and then we'll do it. Nope, the news went for an hour and 10 minutes. So I'm gonna grab some water and I'll be back.
All right. Mike's raking in the bucks. Oh, man. I feel like I could fall asleep right now. I just screwed up. It looks like Timmy lost with the second half starting before midnight. Although I guess there's still half hour. Hopefully we'll start that.
I say we just call it, the show's over, guys. And that way we win. Oh, man. I closed the door in my hand.
That wasn't a smart thing to do.
No, but I think the door was pissed at me.
Didn't
So.
do that.
Damn, it really hurt. Oh, man. I forgot the water in my bathroom. Great. Excellent. Oh, man, there's like a mark. Yeah, the door was not happy with me. There's going to be a bruise there. I'll be right back again.
I don't understand that icon. Are you supposed to be eating money or throwing up money? Emoticon, sorry. I guess that's what it should be.
I see our audience has slowly dissipated. Actually, no, we just got a couple people listen back.
Yeah.
They tuned out for a second.
Really?
Yeah, it was at like 4 people, now it's back to 7. They were like, are they back to doing the show yet? Oh, all right. All right. Timmy, I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know why I just thought of that, but I did. Actually, I'll see you today very shortly. Very shortly, I'll be actually seeing you today. Oh, wow, Bob.
What?
Your camera just, like, went to straight pixels. Like,
Yeah, my YouTube's freaking out.
I don't think it's YouTube. It's you. It's just happening on Discord.
No.
Oh, okay, I get you.
My YouTube window's open.
Okay.
And I had it running, and I told it to pause because usually I keep it paused. And for some reason, whenever I hit pause, it decides that it wants to rebuffer the video before it pauses.
Yeah, Bob is looking
So now
very
it's sitting
cute.
here like, huh?
Timmy said you're looking cute. You look
So
like
we actually-
you look like a Renaissance era painting. Oh, now you're back.
We probably should wait a minute.
Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about.
My
Not
computer
Renaissance,
catches up
but
here.
it's all right. I just said the wrong art era, but hopefully none of you guys here are art historians, so it doesn't matter. I meant the era of abstract art, but
All right. It might be good now.
Bob, are you good? No, Bob has morphed into a bunch of randomly assorted blocks. I'm sorry to say. He can still speak,
I can I can talk.
but that is all.
Oh, nobody else has watched American Gods, I'm sure.
No.
There's a perfect reference for anyone. Has anybody watched American Gods?
No.
Probably not.
I know Daniel's reading the book, which you should
I'm
probably
a
read
little
before.
upset though. I might have to read the book. So apparently, it's not gonna happen. But
Oh, okay. I was about to say, if you're gonna read a book but you can't watch him shows, come on. Reading books takes a lot more time.
the only show that was ever able to get me to read.
Anytime
books
Mike has
was,
seen American Gods.
Veronica Mars. Who? Yeah. All right. So I was like technology boy. There. That's what was going on. I could talk. My face was pixelized. That's what was going on. Yeah. Shadow Moon. That whole man. I loved that. That was.
I prefer
that was
Desert
such a
Sun,
good
but
show.
yeah.
I really, really hope that they do that show. I was like, so I knew that the 3rd season was the last season, but I didn't know the ordeal of what was going on. So I was like I had to wake up early the next day, but I like watched what I thought was the last episode because, that I don't want to give it away for people, but that person you expected to get killed got killed. That
What?
kind
Now
of,
when we
like,
watch it, we're
give
going to be
away.
like,
But I was like,
I'm expecting someone
oh,
to-
all right, it's the last. And then there was one more episode, and I'm like, oh, so I guess they like finish out the story, right? No, this was the last episode. No joke. For everybody that hasn't watched this, it was like, oh, well, that just must mean that, or that could be something worse. End. Done. I'm like, what? How do you end How do you end a series like that? So then I started reading about it, and it was like there's supposed to be a fourth season, but it got canceled. And so, like, that whole episode was put there literally to build up for the fourth season
Which doesn't
that
happen.
now isn't going to take place.
Yeah, which isn't going to happen.
It made me mad. But apparently Stars is considering doing like a TV movie thing to like finish it up, which they better do.
All right, are you ready?
Maybe.
Oh,
What?
you spoiled it.
Wait, what?
Did you read what Airtime Mike said?
Oh. You've seen all 3 seasons, right, though? You've seen them all?
Maybe. That's what I was thinking. Maybe you spoiled it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you just thought there was more coming. Yes. That's the case.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's the whole thing. Like we're kind of like screwed. It wasn't supposed to be the last season, and at the time it aired, it wasn't the last season. It was apparently like after like a couple weeks after it aired. That's when they're like, "Oh, no, we're not going to continue it." Oh, I was so mad that night cuz I actually stayed up far later than I wanted to that night to finish it because I was like so excited to finish it, and I was just so mad. It was
All right. Let's go. Second half of the show.
James, I was so mad though.
When are you not mad? I feel like that's your default emotion. I feel like anger is your default emotion. Content is sometimes in there. Happy, joyful, but anger is typically what I'm expecting from you.
No, see, this is the thing. Well, you should know. Like, when I say I'm angry, it's like I'm disappointed. You've seen me angry. You're one of the few people that have really truly seen me. And actually, you have not seen me at my worst angry. There are people that I talked to later that genuinely were like ready to call the cops. It was that bad. Like I was that angry. It's only happened like less than a dozen times.
I don't think you've been that angry at me, but I've seen you angry in general. Yeah.
Oh, you've never seen me the angriest though.
No, I don't think you've ever. I've never felt threatened by you, so to speak. Like I don't think you're ever angry at me. To that level, you've been like pissed.
No.
So yeah, I don't have that experience. No. Let's see what we can do. I got Pam pretty close. We got to see if we can get you there now. But with Pam's, it was so like
truly angry.
Trivial. I still can't believe that that's why we got her mad. But it's like something so dumb.
She is still here.
I don't know. If she is, she knows that's how I feel about it. So I don't care. Probably. We have 7 people watching. I feel like she has to be one of them. I feel like we do this every night. We say, is she still there? And then she'll be like, yeah, in 10 minutes.
20 minutes late. No, I'm still here. I'm just 20, 30 minutes behind.
All right, let's do the show, please. or Timmy's thing is going to be right that we don't start at 12. The second half.
That's true. Yeah. Wait, hold on. I need to find my tab.
I know, Pam was really mad. And it wasn't anything like I didn't... It was not anything that I expected her to get mad about, but it's funny.
All right, ready?
Yep, there she is.
Oh, shit.
All right.
3, 2.
So before we get into the weekly poll for this week, we have a bit to talk about first. This is on the border of news. We're going to have some discussion. We're going to have a look into this story. We didn't want to put it in the first half because it doesn't really fit the true definite. It's not industry news. It's not something that is really affecting the parks or the
basically
manufacturers.
What this is, it's having a Six Flags day.
Yeah.
This is how you have a Six Flags day, right?
We could consider this a trip report, I guess, from from Frontier City, where it seems a woman was kicked out of the park for reasons still kind of being discussed and debated. She claims she was kicked out of the park because her shorts were too short. Six Flags claims that she was kicked out of the park because of disorderly conduct and profanity usage. So it's kind of hard to gauge this. I think it's probably a bit of both in this case of what happened. But yes, she is... Wait, hold up. Why is it the New York Post story again?
That's
Time out.
that's I was actually in the process of fixing that. I noticed
Why did that
it, and
happen?
that's
I don't even know
I
how
don't
that...
know. I was confused myself
I don't understand how that happened.
because I clicked it too, and I'm like, wait, what is going on here?
Hold up. All right, well, I'll just continue where I was at. It's all right. But let's see.
But so it's actually not letting me add it. Or, like,
I got
I
it.
can't.
There we go.
What?
Now click on it, and it's the link that I had.
There we go.
Let's see where I was at. I think it's probably a bit of both in this case of what happened. I think it's probably both of... I think it's a bit of both in this case of all right. I think it's a bit of both in this case of what happened.
Where did you cut at?
108.41.
41. Okay, hold on a second. All right, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2.
Like, I feel like when these stories arise, we're supposed to take a side. You know, either you're pro this person or pro that person or pro this side or pro that side. And I feel like it's probably what actually transpired is a bit of both. Now, I definitely think that the reason she was kicked out is because of her behavior. Because I feel like a company kicking somebody out due to clothing would be seen as insane, and I don't think Six Flags would tolerate that kind of employee behavior, and they would most definitely, if they figured out that's what actually happened and transpired, they would hold those individuals accountable and make a statement. I don't think they would defend such actions and try to make it seem like it's something it's not. You know, like I don't. It's a better on an ethical and a moral level for a business to admit their mistake and to say, yeah, we messed up, these employees were wrong, we're sorry, than it is that if that's not actually what happened, to try to make it, oh, well, we didn't remove her because of that, we actually did that. Just, they wouldn't create this if it wasn't actually what happened, I don't think.
Yeah, this, first of all, like, I don't know, there's so many things, like, you know, the first thing I mean, this is kind of always a question in my head, like, okay, what about this caused it to go viral? Because
I think it's
maybe not exactly in this scenario, but there's things like this that happen all the time. They get posted to social media that just don't gain any traction.
I think it's that key
word.
What
is it unique about this story?
Mm-hmm. I think it's the key word that's being thrown around. Body shaming has become like a very big topic of discussion just throughout culture and society itself. So
now there's another thing I'm going to let me just state that I wasn't there. I don't want to take sides on either point.
Yes.
I have some thoughts. I may be wrong. please do not quote me and say, oh, well, Bob said that this is what happened. No, do not quote this. Do not, like, I am not a news source here. Do not cite me.
And these are just our thoughts based on limited information, too.
But from what I've seen and what I've read, there's nothing that was really body shaming. Let's say this. Okay, forget. Let's use hypotheticals. Let's say this is actually okay. Her shorts were too short. Let's say that's the scenario, which does seem to be the case that started the initial confrontation. But wearing clothing, I don't understand how this comes to. I don't understand how that crosses into body shaming. Maybe I'm missing something. And if I am, please send me an email. Let me know.
BobBecauseYouTalkPodcast.com.
I'd like to know.
I think what they're saying is, and this is what I've heard a lot from, and again, I don't want to take a stance on this one way or another, but a lot of women say that men are allowed to, wear no shirts, and men are allowed to expose themselves, but when we do, and our buttocks are hanging out of our pants, that to many should be allowed, and when we're called out for it, to us that's kind of like putting us down to a degree. That's what I've heard women say. And I don't necessarily disagree, but I think it's the same thing. And I've always said this back. If I walked around, right, with pants that were very revealing, or like, I'm not gonna, they reveal. I'm not gonna say revealed, but they complimented certain areas of my body heavily. You'd probably be like, "What the heck? That's not appropriate." So I'm always like, and even if it was even just my butt, I don't think many people want to see that. My hairy butt cheeks, like nobody wants to see that. So I think I think body shaming as a term should be used a lot more strictly than it is in this case. I understand that it is to some women, they think it's almost degrading to a degree. And again, this isn't supposed to be like a social commentary podcast necessarily, but just, and my view on this is, I don't know if it's body shaming, but I understand that it's not. It might feel like, oh, I'm a woman, I'm getting targeted because I'm wearing this, and a man doesn't get targeted when he wears fill in the blank or that or who or whatever. That's what I've understood from that, from this kind of talk, because I've heard it quite a bit, especially being in school where we have dress codes and everything.
I mean, I don't know. To me, my first reaction, and both of these could be true. I feel like this was kind of posted with hashtags that were used just to attract attention to the story. I don't know, but here's the other thing. She's not completely wrong. I mean, there's on her TikTok, there is a picture. She has a picture of her wearing the shorts, and they're short. They're really short. They're revealing, but they are no more revealing than I've seen many others.
Yeah,
wearing at Six Flags parks. Yep,
I 100% agree with that.
This is where we come into Six Flags' absolute biggest issue is consistency.
Yep,
they absolutely
totally
need to. If this is the role, that is the role across the board. You can't single people out.
And I even saw and I appreciated this comment on her TikTok. Somebody, and it was one of the most liked comments as well, I believe. It said, if she had gotten this attention at the front gate, it would be a different story. But why 3.5 hours into her park visit?
That is another thing.
Why 3.5 hours into her park visit?
Saw her
exactly.
That had no issue with it, and then all of a sudden, it became an issue. What's why? That's a problem. If that's why you're going to stop and talk to somebody, I mean, yeah, it's 2 hours. That's a long time for somebody to be in the park with something that's like, and it's not like like a line jumper where it's like an instantaneous, like, oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
This is kind of an ongoing thing. I'm not saying she's doing something wrong ongoing. I'm saying whatever it is, whether it's good, bad, whatever, it's ongoing. And it's gone on for 2 hours, and just now something's happening. I mean, it's possible that there were complaints, like people address complaints to employees saying, "Hey, we don't really like this." But the problem is, it goes back to Six Flags can't just like all of a sudden step in and say, "Oh, now we're going to enforce our policy."
Yeah, and this is I was gonna get to that. I'm glad you did. It's just I was gonna draw the comparison to their camera policy. It's all of their policies. They seem to act this way. They don't fulfill their promises and their commitments to whatever it is. Whether it's providing a safe environment because we can't have cameras. Oh well, I brought a camera in. Oh, but no, now it's one lens. Oh, but now it's this, and now we think this way. Like it's just so momentary, and it seems very like almost arbitrary. They just make up things on the go, it seems.
Yeah.
And they don't have an exact, I mean, they have policies on their website, but they definitely don't fulfill those ever. I mean, it's like you got to be consistent, and you got to be straightforward with everyone. You can't just like, oh, her shorts are the same as mine, but we're calling you out. Like, yeah, they're not at all consistent with their policies, and that's something that needs to that is definitely an issue, and that's nothing new. So for that, I definitely understand. But again, they're not saying that she was necessarily kicked out because of that. They're saying that she was kicked out because the way she addressed the security officers and the police officers that were at the park. Which, based on the video, I don't necessarily think she was that disorderly, but maybe it was before or after that occurred, I guess.
And this is the other thing. This video was posted to her account.
Exactly. That is, yeah.
She's going to stop that video. If I'm not saying there is or isn't incriminating things that happened after that, but if there were, that's not something that she's going to show.
No.
Because it doesn't fit her narrative, the narrative she wants to address. Again, I'm not saying that did or did not happen. I do feel, however, that a confrontation probably escalated. I mean, you could even tell in the video that she did post that she was getting more and more riled up.
Yeah, she was definitely getting an attitude and getting frustrated.
So yeah, so it's not. I mean, it's not a far-fetched to think that things did get out of control. Here's a problem I have. Why are they going to do this? And yet people continue to jump in line, take phones on rides. These actual, not the line jumping, but like phones on rides and stuff like that. Actual safety issues. And they can't eject people from the park for that.
Yeah, I agree.
Please, can somebody at Six Flags please explain this to me? You will do all of this stuff, actually to the point of almost harassment of not letting you take phones on El Toro and Cane de Ca. But if somebody does, you don't kick them out, but God forbid a situation like this arrives, and not only do you kick somebody out, you ban her for 5 years. 5 years?
Why not 6?
What, like?
Make it 6. At least push. I mean, push like a marketing thing here. Six Flags, 6 years.
Escalated. Yeah, maybe this escalated far worse than I'm even imagining it got to. But wow, that's a hefty.
Yeah, jinx.
It's a hefty punishment.
The summary of this really, you need to be steady and true to your policies, and things like this won't happen. And it's something that no other park chain has a problem with, other than Six Flags. This stuff doesn't happen. I don't think. I mean, I've never seen anything to this level happening with workers and guests at Cedar Fair parks, SeaWorld parks, anywhere. Like, it always seems that when something like this arises, it's at a park like one of the Six Flags parks, and that's because a lot of times the Six Flags parks have, and I've talked about this before, not just at Six Flags America, but Six Flags America in particular for me, where I've had employees not really stay true to the policy, and also just be plain rude and condescending. So you need to just stay true to what you say you're going to on your website. And again, my favorite comment from this, out of all of this, was why wasn't this addressed at the front gate? That's 100%, I think, the best
if this was an issue, it should have been
to take from this.
You shouldn't have even let the person in.
Yeah, there's no need.
If that's your policy, that's your policy.
Exactly. She is breaking the policy.
If that's your posted policy, enforce your policy. But you can't pick and choose it. And that's the other thing. Like, this is what she was wearing. It probably would fall on the suggestive side of things, but it's no worse than things that I see at Six Flags all the time. Yeah. And I've never even heard of somebody being kicked out of Six Flags for something like this before.
Yeah, me neither, to be honest.
I mean, I'm sure that it may have happened. I don't know. But this is just I don't know. This is unfortunate. And again, we don't know the whole story. We weren't there. We can't really say. I think there's points in both corners.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. It always typically seems to be that it's a little bit of both. It's a gray area where it actually transpired and what actually is the purpose. Because, I mean, I don't see Six Flags employees, security officers, police officers all, ooh, look at her shorts, they're too short. Let's go over and completely harass her and kick her out of the park.
I really feel like that the thing that initially triggered this is there is one or two people that actually complained to the park that.
I agree, but
this girl's walking.
I don't think they singled her out.
Could have even been somebody that
I don't think it was
upset with her.
All I'm saying is I don't think these associates singled her out and were like,
no, absolutely.
All right, here we go. Let's go over to her. Let's harass her. Let's kick her out of the park. Let's all of this. I don't think that's what actually happened. That seems to be what many people think transpired. So I just want to state that I don't think that's actually what happened. And again, it's always like a bit of both people's stories that ends up being what actually happened.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also don't think that she was. Yeah. All right. So that is about it for that story. Again, we just wanted to kind of put that in the second half because it's not necessarily news. It's not really, again, affecting the industry in any shape or form. It's just something that happened at a theme park, so it's something we left for the second half. Now let's get to some fun stuff, though. We'll get to the weekly poll for this show of this week. And in this weekly poll, we asked you all, what is your favorite park event? And we didn't put any specifications on this poll. It could be park events that are sponsored by that actual park, park events that are held by groups. Any type of event is allowed. And we got quite a few responses. Some funny responses. I think I mentioned before that we broke for the first half of the show. Airtime Mike wrote in a total of 4 times. And I can
4 times, Mike.
Hollywood Nights. Everything else is a distant second. Nothing even compares. It's the Super Bowl for enthusiasts. Hollywood Nights continued. The passion, the energy, the atmosphere, the fun, the excitement, the staff. Let me reiterate this. Anything else mentioned tonight that's not Hollywood Nights is battling for distant second place. And then he said Coaster Mania, Phoenix Fall Fun Fest, Coaster Con, and then he said, are all worse than Hollywood Nights. So those are. If you don't know what,
I wonder how.
I wonder what Airtime Mike's
how-
favorite event is.
Yeah, that's
I
what
don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Kind of curious. What now? Here's the bigger question: what would he do if they ever like decided not to have it anymore?
Oh, I don't know.
He might actually go ride a free spin.
Oh man, yeah,
End it all. Ride a free spin.
yeah, exactly.
For those that don't know, Airtime
Put him
Mike,
out of his pain.
He is not a fan of free spins.
No. All right, well, let's get to some other responses. And I can't say that many more were different than Mike's, but we did get a few. Coasting by the Ocean was one, which is an event, I believe, at Maury's Piers in New Jersey.
Yeah, Morris Pierce.
Yeah, and I was actually thinking about going to that a couple of years ago. Didn't get the chance, but I've heard it's a fun event. Then, for the next, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Hollywood Nights, of course, Hollywood Nights easily, Hollywood Nights, without, oh, here we go, with all due respect to Hollywood Nights, Phoenix Fall Fun Fest.
Yeah.
All right.
I hear that one.
Yeah. Let me see some more Hollywood Nights, and CoasterCon. Somebody said the Drunk Riders Stumble events. Again, we didn't specify
they've had
that totally
one.
works. Yeah. Special stumble event.
They've said events. There's been one so far. I did hear people have had a great time. I almost went to that. But
Yeah, I don't know how
was
that would have
the,
turned out for you though. Isn't that's the one that got canceled kind of, or like half of it got canceled.
yeah, but I still heard it turned out really well. Yeah, it was actually funny because
Yeah, that would have been cool, I guess. Bob could have gotten hammered
Winter
with those
Chill Out.
guys. And
What was that?
I'm sure it was fun because they got hammered, so it would have been fun to see you like get hammered with those guys.
Yeah, and that may not have happened. I don't know.
Maybe some Irish
Probably
trash
not.
cans.
But it was funny that their complaint to me was, why are you going to Winter Chill Out at Cedar Point when you could come out in warm, sunny Texas? And I think it was actually warmer at Cedar Point than it was in Texas.
Yeah, that was good. And then
no, I
our
did
very
hear a
last
lot of good
response,
things
I
about
do
it.
want to say, was Riding of the Bull, which is an event at Six Flags Great Adventure, which is excellent. Very well done. It's easily one of my favorites. You get 2 hours of ERT on El Toro. I got almost 30 rides on it. It's excellent.
That's an event I would like to go to. I've considered and just never got there.
So I have to say, Bob, I think my favorite event is one that many people might not have actually mentioned tonight, and that's Hollywood Nights.
Really?
Yeah.
You like Hollywood Nights? Wow.
I do. It's out of left field, I know.
That's a hot
for sure.
take, man.
I know.
Hot take.
I'm ready for the emails. Again, james@coachtalkpodcast.com. I know you guys will be filling up my mail there, but well, that's my favorite. I know that's your favorite, right?
Well,
oh, maybe not.
I think really seriously, you're gonna be shocked, but I would have to agree with you and say Hollywood Nights.
Oh, wow. Holy
No,
crap.
I
I
will say
thought mine
this,
was out of
though.
left field.
Phoenix Fun Fall Fest is
Phoenix Fall Fun
really
Fest.
close.
Yeah.
And it's, Knoebels always seems to fall into this category. It's like, do I want to say Knoebels is my favorite park? Yes. No, I don't. But the problem is Knoebels is such a different category. It's almost like, well, Knoebels is the best park of the Knoebels style parks. Like,
Right.
It's almost unfair to fit them into the category with the rest of the parks.
Right.
And I think that it's kind of a similar thing with Phoenix Fun Fall Fest and Hollywood Nights. They're both so incredibly awesome, but they're also so very different that it's hard to say one's over the other because it's kind of an apples and oranges thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it if it came down to it and I had to pick one, I could only go to one. It would be a really tough decision.
As much as I love Phoenix Fall Fun Fest, I would have to say Hollywood Nights. It's just
I probably would. I probably ultimately would end up choosing Hollywood Nights, but it's not like just a no-brainer thing for me
Yeah.
because I love Phoenix Fun Fall Fest that much. It's so close to as great of a time as Hollywood Nights is that I don't know. It's like I said, it's just a different thing.
I'm sorry. How are you saying it? You keep saying it weirdly. Phoenix Fall Fun Fest.
Phoenix.
You keep saying Phoenix Fun Fall Fest.
Phoenix Fall Fun.
Yeah, Phoenix Fall Fun Fest.
Fall Fun. Is that was I saying it backwards?
I think you were saying Phoenix Fun Fall Fest, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I kept hearing. Maybe you were just saying it in a way that like you were enunciating it. I don't know. I kept.
I don't
hearing
know.
that.
I may have.
I don't care.
I don't know.
I was just. It was like starting to. It was starting to like wait.
In the fall.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't really matter. I was just. It was starting to like build up, and you kept saying it, and I'm like, I do want to mention some that weren't mentioned that have caught my eye. I haven't been to all of these, but Coaster Mania at Cedar Point is supposed to be great. I've heard that's a really good one. Coaster Stock at Kings Island is supposed to be a lot of fun.
I've heard a lot of good things about Coaster.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things. Seaside Screams at Casino Pier, I've heard is a good event. I'm trying to think of any others off the top of my head.
Well, I will say this.
Coasting by the Ocean's one, yeah.
My favorite off-season event is by far East Coaster.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not thinking about off-season, but yeah, East Coaster is good for sure.
I mean, it's up there with some of my favorite events, even so.
Yeah, I can't compare them. I can't compare off-season and on-season events. They're just too different.
See, I like off-season events, and I know you're not. You're more an in-season event guy. I actually really enjoy off-season events.
I do too. I enjoy them, and I love learning about the parks. But I feel like that's the kind of thing that I could do sitting from my home.
Yeah, see, for me, it's not even close. I love the backs, behind the scenes and like the stuff that you get. I guess
that is true. Right. Well, think about it. When we did East Coaster, at least as far as I can remember, there was not any behind the scenes tours. I don't remember any behind the scenes tours on East Coaster when we went. Had there been,
because you guys didn't want to. You guys didn't want to be there. You didn't want. You're like, oh, we're not going up for Friday night. They actually
correct. Yeah, I couldn't miss school.
It actually
I had
was
school.
a riding event too. They actually completely let us walk the entire track of. I can't think of the name of it. Reese's Cup Fusion. And then as we went through, they gave us a tour of this whole system and everything that was going on. And they came out and they said, all right, guys, if you guys want to hang out here for a half hour, we're going to go ahead and get the ride ready to run for you. And it was actually really
Let me reformulate what Bob just said. I did not want to go. I did not want to miss school to go, right? If it had been in the summer and I would have been there. It was not like no, I don't want to go. Screw that.
Wait, hold on. You had more of a reason. Everybody else that was coming from your area was like, no, we don't want to do that.
What?
Pam was one of them. Pam was like, I'm not driving up that far.
Oh, okay. You're talking about other. Okay, yeah. I did not. I would have gone had there not been school.
Yeah.
That was my issue. Missing school for me is a big deal. The only reason I will be missing school for the Cedar Point trip I'm taking, but that's actually because there is an educational purpose for me going up there.
No, it's just because the rides are running. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but other than that, roller coaster trips don't typically work well with school. I'm typically scheduling them around that, so I don't have to miss any school. But yeah, that's why I didn't make it there. I would have, but yeah, true. East Coaster did have something to do. That's for sure.
Usually we don't have a riding event, but they do.
Riding event, even all right, Jeepers It's Winter, right? That was with Bush a couple of years ago. We didn't do any riding there. We were supposed to have a behind the scenes tour. That didn't happen. So when it's, to me, those kind of events where it's just sitting around in an auditorium or in a venue, like it's just I don't know. I like experiencing
that
the
thing.
park and walking around, and I enjoy the information as well. I love absorbing, the manufacturers coming in and telling me, oh, this is how our ride works, and that's how our ride works. But after about 4 hours of that, I'm like, all right, I'm great, this is awesome, I love it, but I need a break. I need to do something else. And then it's like, nope, we still have another 4.5 hours of this. We still have other parks coming in, and I'm like, I like listening to these parks, and I love listening to these speakers, but I need to do something. I can't sit in this auditorium for much longer. That's the only.
See,
and again,
I
it might
like-
be with the ADHD thing that it might be something that my brain works that way, my neurology. But yeah,
I definitely like that. Jeepers' Winter was a problem because I went psyched for one thing and then it just ruined the whole experience for me. Like I
Yeah.
was that really upset me. Their justification was horrible too. That whole thing just really irritated me. But normally, like if I know that I'm going to, if I'm just going to an event that's literally just going to be all presentations and stuff like that, like like that's what I'm ready for, and I certainly enjoy it. But a couple other events. Airtime Mike mentioned Smoky Mountain Festival at Dollywood, which is also, is that the same as Thrills in the Hills, or is that something
no, that's
different?
something different. Thrills in the Hills is an excellent event too. That's an actually park sponsored event. That's not a
Okay.
ACE event. So
Okay.
yeah.
And he also said quote the Raven at Holiday World, and that's an Ace event as well.
Fiesta Fest is one I went to at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. That was pretty good. That new event Six Flags Fiesta Texas is doing is probably going to be pretty great, so we can mention that. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It was something to do with... It was an event that they had it was like... I think it was Roller Coaster Rodeo.
Quoth the Raven.
Quoth the Raven. All right. It was the Roller Coaster Rodeo, I believe, is the name of the event. At Fiesta Texas that they're doing this year. It's going to be like a 2-day event. It's going to be like Coaster Mania, but for Six Flags Fiesta Texas, where you just come in and ride as many
I think
coasters
I
as
remember.
possible.
I remember that.
Yeah, we talked
That was
about it on the
announced
show.
a little. Yeah. Yeah.
You should remember it. Yeah. Hopefully.
Just because we talked about it doesn't mean I remember it.
Yeah. KennyCon is an event that I've always wanted to get to. I don't know how you feel about that event anymore, but
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard some
that's-
great things about that event in the past.
That was always an oddly placed. Like it was a difficult time for me. I've never actually got there. I heard it's actually really good. But I don't know. I'm just, me and Kenny Wood right now. I don't know. It might be fun though.
Yeah, you're on.
I do go to Coaster
Bad
Bash.
terms.
I enjoy Coaster Bash.
Yeah. Coaster Bash is one that you talk about a lot. I know you like that one, so that's definitely one to mention. And I think that might be it for the events that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh,
I'm sure there's some
you're
other-
missing one that you really enjoy, and you're always telling me I need to go, and I always tell you there is no way in hell.
I am. Am I?
Coaster Campout.
Oh yeah. Well, yes, that is definitely. I'm thinking Ace events right now. Sure. Yeah, I wasn't thinking in that sector at all. Coaster Campout is excellent. Yeah, I need to. I'll definitely ring that bell again. One of my favorites.
I will not.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe.
If we got a big enough tent and we could fit you in there and get you in like on a mattress or something, you wouldn't do it. I'm telling you, it's one of the coolest experiences.
I don't know.
To be 3 and 4 in the morning at a theme park, like you're sleeping under. It was Intimidator when I was there. I think sometimes they might move around the locations of where they're camping out, but it was so cool. The park's dead. There's no one there. It's just you with the coasters.
I think this boils down to this. I'm a lot older than I want to admit to myself.
Bob, there was like 50-year-old dads there and 60-year-old dads there. They were with families.
Okay, so, all right. Here's the thing. Now this does change the dynamics.
Oh my gosh.
If I was going with my niece and nephew, that would be I would totally enjoy that. And it's hard to explain why that makes a difference to somebody that, like, because there's no way 20 years ago I never would have understood why that made a difference. Now it does.
I think once you got there, you would enjoy it about the same.
I'm not saying I wouldn't enjoy it. I just like it's like I don't know if I'm like spreading out events to do. That's not one that I'd be like, oh, that's. I don't know. I don't know. You probably will end up twisting my arm eventually, and I'll probably be like, oh no, this was great.
You'll love it, yeah. I mean, we got just on this event alone, we got 2 hours of ERT, and it's only like a night, a half of that night, and then the half in the morning that really the event actually is ongoing. So that night we got there and we camped out and we got ERT on Copperhead Strike. I got like 30 rides on Copperhead Strike, and this happens at a lot of Cedar Fair parks. I'm talking about the one at Carowinds in particular. That's the one I do. I know Kings Dominion actually does one too, but I don't really want to be. I mean, I would be like 20 minutes from my house, so it doesn't make much sense to camp out there. But Carowinds, I got 20, 30 rides on Copperhead Strike, and then in the morning we got 10 rides on Fury. So just the ERT is great. But on top of that, let me talk about what makes that event better than just your typical ERT events. I thought this was excellent. They had actual like fire pits set up, and you had marshmallows, and you had Hershey's bars, and it was really, really, really cool. I mean, and you're camping out, literally, obviously that's the name, and you're camping out right underneath these coasters. Like we were standing, and you could see Fury right there. It was lit up. It was just so surreal. And then they had the Peanuts movie and the actual what's the name of that?
So you're saying it was relevant?
What's their name of that big? I'm not trying to get into that right now. Not trying to get into that right now. Not trying to get into that right now. What is the name of their large dining hall again? It's Harmony Hall. Harmony Hall, and they had the Peanuts movie playing in there. They had popcorn set up, machine set up. It's just so cool. It's just so cool. I can't explain how ethereal and just otherworldly it is to be at a park like that at 2 or 3 in the morning and just walking around and having popcorn and having the fire set up, and it's like the park is yours. It's like it's your home. It's really cool. So it's definitely one of my favorite events, I think. So I'm glad you brought that up.
I do have to mention the way that I said, oh, what about your favorite one that you forgot, or one of your favorites that you forgot? Airtime Mike literally just said one that is absolutely my favorite, one of my absolute favorite events that I totally forgot about. King's Dominions on New Year's Eve, ringing in the new year. I love that event.
That's not an event, really.
What do you mean it's not an event?
It's not it's not like an event. It's not a coaster event, really. I agree that that's an excellent.
Wait, was the question coaster events?
Yeah, yes, I believe that was the question.
Oh, it was coaster event. Okay. Well, I don't care. I really enjoy it, and you get to ride coasters. So actually,
Bob,
called Coaster Camp.
That could just be that any day of the week that parks are open, it could be considered an event then. Because you're riding coasters.
Ring in the new year.
That doesn't.
No fireworks.
I don't consider that. I don't think that meets the criteria. I don't think that meets. I agree that it's easily.
In the new year spectacular,
and he even said
whatever they call it.
He said, "Well, it's not an event," so I agree. So it's a great experience for sure. Yeah. So there's our rundown of events. Hopefully we reached you guys with some that you might want to try out now. And if we didn't say one that you thought was great, write us in. You didn't write one in the poll this week and you're like, oh, but you didn't say this, say it. Then write us in and we can mention it on another show if you want. You can contact James at coastertalkpodcast.com or Bob at coastertalkpodcast.com and let us know, because we'd love to hear any events that we haven't gotten to, because as you can tell, we love some events. So any that we haven't heard of or haven't experienced, we'd love to check out.
As long as I don't have to sleep on the ground.
Yeah, as long as Bob can live like a king, he's fine with the events.
I want to live like a king. I just don't want to sleep on the ground.
He doesn't want to sleep in our natural environment where humans were naturally living and sleeping. All right.
I could say some things, but that would get us off on another tangent. So
Yeah, we're done. Next week's weekly poll: what are the best food choices at Six Flags parks? We're generally curious because I have yet to get good food at a Six Flags
this
park.
is more of a cry for help than a poll.
Yeah. We need this information. It's vital
Please
to
tell
our
us
experiences at
sustain
Six
ourselves
Flags.
while at a Six Flags park. That's what we're.
How do I
asking.
provide my body with the proper nourishment while I'm at a Six Flags park?
If anybody says anything that involves a hamburger,
Your
just
opinion is directly irrelevant. It's just not. That's just yeah. So yes, if you want to answer that question again, what are the best food choices at Six Flags parks? There's really not many options. Chopsticks, I'd say, is about it. So if you can write in anything else, please do. I'm sure it's just going to be a bunch of chopsticks maybe, but if you can honestly answer that question without mentioning chopsticks, I'd love it. I would love to hear something other than that. But yes, that's coachdoggpodcast.com/poll if you want to answer that question. Also follow us on our social medias. Follow us on the YouTube channel as well, or subscribe in the correct wording of that. It's Coaster Space Talk Space Podcast, 3 separate words. You can contact us by going to coachdoggpodcast.com/contact. You can also support us by going to coachdoggpodcast.com/shop and wearing our merchandise around the parks. We appreciate any type of representation we can get. And again, I already mentioned our email, so I'm not going to continue drilling that. I think you guys got that. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys all on episode number 121. We're already 20 episodes past 100. It's crazy. We're 1/4 or 1/5 of the way, to 200.
indeed.
All right, guys. I'll see you next week.
We did it.
What?
No, we're talking about the Jeepers is a winter event. This is so infuriating. That was seriously. I think that may have been one of the dumbest things a park ever did directly to.
Is it actually? I'm pretty sure it's. Isn't that 1/20th out of 200 is not actually that. But I guess if you say we're 20 in and we need to get. Sorry, I'm doing some math right now.
Well, if you figure coming from the 100th episode.
Yeah, then we are. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's how that's supposed to work. For a second, I was questioning my math skills, but no, I'm good. All right, I'm saving this episode.
I always question my math skills.
I've gotten to the point where I'm doing like trigonometry, so like my basic math skills are starting to like deteriorate a little bit. I'm like, what's 1 + 1 again? But then I can like factor this equation and do all this crap over here.
Mike, you're not saying the whole story. It was sunny and bright with a 100% chance of BGW fans. That's why we didn't get the tour. And that's absolutely nothing against BGW fans. That is absolutely saying the park is just being a bunch of babies at that point.
First of all, this.
All right, well, guys, that concludes our episode, which means we're gonna head off. I gotta get ready I got a trip tomorrow, which I'll be reporting back to you guys. Any subscribers of the YouTube channel, I'll have videos up soon about that, I'm sure. I also still have some videos from Florida, so But yeah, I gotta get up there and I
What
gotta
you're
get.
saying is you're slacking.
I mean, I just took the SAT, the ACT. I have AP exams, so
Excuses, excuses.
yeah. I'll see you today, Timmy. I'll see you today.
Hey, Timmy, I won't see you today.
You'll see you tomorrow. Just kidding. Tomorrow, tomorrow. I love you.
There's tomorrow. Actually, I wonder. Maybe I should do something this weekend.
You want to go to Cedar Point with us? No, you don't.
No, I'm not ready for that.
What's going to happen is we're going to have one of the greatest opening day experiences of all time. Even though when you went, it was like a crap show. And
There's no way.
no, it's
There's
going to
no
happen unless you come. If you come, like you say, it would go crap.
True. That's exactly right. So why are you asking? You don't want me to come with you.
I kind of maybe we should just like do half the day you're there, half the day you're not, and we can see like the first half was great and the second half sucked.
Matter. I'll bring everybody. Like
No, but the first half of the day would be excellent, and then the second half of the day we'd be like, oh yeah, Bob, you really do suck. All right, guys. Well, peace be with you, and with your spirit.
see you guys.
Yeah, true. All right, Timmy. I'll see you today.